I never go live. I'm really trying to figure this out as to why to even go live. But I woke up and I got lazy. And I sound really weird to myself, so I hope this doesn't sound weird when it's coming off. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm completely honest. I am brand new to TikTok. I don't know what the hell is going on. But I don't know. I hope this is what it is. Hopefully, I can save this because that's really all I want to do. All I want to do is save this after I, go where I go for real, so I can just share it somewhere else. Because I'm lazy and I don't feel like getting dolled up just for another video. I don't. It's early in the morning. I didn't get that great of sleep, which is exactly what I'm about to talk about. So, whatever. I don't even know what these things do down here. I'm kind of curious. Oh, no, I don't want to end it. Flip camera, mirror, admin settings. What's my admin settings? You see how bad I have no idea what I'm doing? But whatever. Like I said, I'm lazy. I don't feel like making a whole nother video. But, okay, so I have a thing where I've been like this my entire life. My mom is like this. Even my son is like this. And it's always gotten on somebody else's nerves, but whatever. This is just how we're kind of wired and we're programmed. But hi to everybody who even wants to hear me talk, because I'm figuring this entire thing out, but just flow with me here. Anyway, I need to light up. This is me. Hi, nice to meet you. Kashaya, if you didn't know how to pronounce my name. Kashaya Vici, but my name is Kashaya. Anyway, lately, I'm a person who has to sleep with the television on. I don't really like it myself, but I've been like this my entire life, 32 years, almost 32. April 5th, I'll be 32. But anyway, that's just me. I have to sleep with the TV on because if I don't, my thoughts will keep me up all freaking night. There is no rest. Even when my TV goes off at night, I pop up immediately. Like when it goes to sleep, I wake up. It sucks, but that's just how I'm wired. Cannot sleep in the silence. Anyway, lately my TV has just been acting fucking bananas at night. Like it'll work all during the day, totally fine, flowing from show to show, binging stuff, and it's totally fine. But when I sleep at night, it does not want to work. I've been so frustrated. I've switched, to just watching shit on my computer and my laptop until my computer was trying to act up. So I was like, okay, fuck that. I even turned on TV on my phone. And then after a while, I was like, I can't keep doing this. I'm like losing my mind from not getting the sleep that I want. And I'm just so irritated. It's literally burning me up inside because I can't sleep because my electricity, my electronics won't work like that. And of course, this started around retrograde. And I'm like, okay, well, retrograde eased up and literally it chilled for a while only to return again. Anyway, it's just been pissing me off. And last night, I think I just reached my limit. I'm a person who, one, I don't like being upset. I don't like being aggravated. I don't like just being at unrest in my spirit. I am always mindful about that shit 24/7. I don't do mess because I need my peace all the time. So I'm in bed, TV fucking up again, and I'm just like, okay, God, why? Why me? Why is this happening? What is going on? Why can't I get some rest? What are you trying to, tell me? All of that stuff. Usually when shit starts going awry, spirit, ancestors, my guides, they are trying to get my attention. It's a message, clearly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I need y'all to put this down. Sometimes it's weed, which, by the way, I have my license for. And with that being said, all right, so we can keep going. But I do have my medicinal license, so yeah. Anyway, like when when I'm meant to take a break from smoking, I keep dropping weed and, nothing's working out right. My lighters are just fucking up. And I'm like, okay, fine. I freaking get the point. I will take a break and then I will leave it up to spirit later. Sorry, I'm on my balcony, guys. So if you hear a bunch of stuff, that's just how it is. But after a while, I'm like, okay, I give up. Fine, I will take a break and I will leave it to my spirit until I know it's time for me to pick it up again. I don't ever go through withdrawals and no shit like that. Weed is not addictive unless you make it. So I don't know how people do that. That has to be a mental thing. But there has never been a time where I will literally smoke for days, years on end and not be able to stop and be totally fine. That's just how weed works. I have no idea what else anybody else is smoking, but it's not addictive. Anyway, getting that out the way. So shit keeps happening with me in my sleep and I can't, get no real rest because I can't have the TV on. And I already knew that having the TV on when you sleep is a problem. I'm even really particular on, I'm going to answer that question in a minute. In 2 seconds. But I'm even particular with the shows that I actually watch because I'm a dreamer. I dream everything. I'll dream what's going to happen the next day. I'll dream a message for like a friend or family and I haven't talked to them in freaking forever and I'll still be accurate with their stuff. That's me. So when I dream and whatever I'm watching on TV, I need it to be basically PG, G rated so it's not popping up in my dream and I don't know what to do. I take breaks, Lynn, Jessica, I take breaks when my spirit tells me. Like after a while, usually I can feel like, okay, I'm kind of tired of smoking or I don't feel like I need to smoke. So I'll chill and I'll take a little bit less breaks. And then if I'm dropping shit and spirit is like, put the fucking weed down, I'll wait until the message comes up. Again, like if I let it go, my body is usually more in tune with me now. If I say I want to do something, my body will be like, bet, that's alignment. My body, if I was like, okay, it's time to lose some more weight, I'm getting a little thick, my body will be like, bet. And I'm not even hungry like I used to be anymore. That's really how it works. So if I feel like it's time to take a break from marijuana, my body will go, bet. And we don't even want it no more, like instantly. And then when I not necessarily start to crave it, but when I feel like, okay, it's time for me to do my meditation thing, I always, roll up and come out here and start meditating, singing, whatever, praising, going in, I'm going to my spiritual thing when I smoke. So it's whenever my body tells me. It's whenever spirit says, okay, it's fine, because it's an actual medicine for me. I do not smoke just to have fun and party and turn up. It is literally a medicine for me. Like I have a lot of health things that I deal with. And when all those horrible pills do not work, we will fix everything. It'll take care of like 5 different things that I'm dealing with at once and be more effective than those pills could ever be. So it's not like I'm giving up marijuana at all. But when it's time for my body to take a break or when I need to spiritually, everything will line up. And then when it's time, it'll just be time. Sometimes it's just a week because I needed a specific message that could not get through for whatever reason while I was doing what I was doing. Sometimes it's months. I've taken breaks for months for no reason because Spirit just said to. So it's just you get in tune with your body, and that's how you know when to take a break. I hope I answered that as best as possible. It also helps when you're not smoking with tobacco. I noticed that could be a thing too. Even when it's just a roll up, tobacco can be a little bit addicting, or you can get used to the habit, and then it's like, God, I want to smoke. Just listen to your spirit, for real. Sorry, I didn't realize it was messing up on my braids like that, guys. Good. I'm glad I answered your question. But with that being said, going off of, just paying attention to messages. So even with the weed thing, I got to take that, L and take a break and just listen to Spirit. And I just have to be patient and wait for whatever message is coming through or whatever it is that I need to do. So with the TV thing, I'm not sleeping. I can't get no rest. And I'm like, why? Freaking why? What is this? What do you need from me? And all that. And like I said before, I can tell that, sleeping with the TV is not the best thing, but it works for me, and it's something very harmless. So I'm just like, okay, just leave me be. I kind of just rationalize it as maybe I need a TV to break up some other frequencies while I focused on, this other shit, So I was like, fine. I turned off my TV. I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to get used to not sleeping with the TV on. And I turned off my TV and I just laid there. And immediately, I felt unprotected. And it was just so deep. I did not realize this for years. I am pretty good with healing, and if something's triggering me, I can dissect myself left and right and be like, okay, let's get down to the bottom of it. Because at the end of the day, it's my situation, it's my problem, it's not for anybody else. So I can, I can dress myself, I can chin check myself. I do it all the time. But I had never chin checked myself about sleeping with TV on, and I didn't think it was that big of a fucking deal. But it was like, it's a big deal. As soon as I turned my TV off, and I just find that to be so fucking deep. As soon as I turned my TV off, I felt insecure. I felt unprotected. I felt like I might as well been floating in space somewhere. I don't know where my surrounding is. I'm vulnerable. I'm weak. I'm a child again. I felt completely unprotected. I'm in my own bed and in my own home that I've been here for years. And when I turned that TV off, I felt like, oh my gosh, I was just so unprotected. I did not realize how much the TV was my security blanket. It's crazy. Now, I always take things, to a couple different places, you know what I'm saying? So it's on a physical level, it was my security blanket. And there's psychology, reasons for that in the background, like this is the thing that was consistent for you when, the shit was going on in your childhood. And this was the thing that kind of like stayed with you when other people weren't. I dissected that whole thing and, felt like a kid again. I was like, damn, I went through a lot of shit when I was a child, which I already knew, but I did not realize that one of those details in my childhood, the fucking TV, was as deep and intense as it was. That's what had me, just really bugged out. And in my insecurity, when I was just laying there feeling vulnerable, and I felt I felt so uncomfortable. I felt like I was doing something I did not want to do, and did not have safety, and just completely uncomfortable. And of course, a bunch of other questions come up, and you take notice of how you feel when you're so uncomfortable. And, you start to dissect again. Why am I feeling uncomfortable in my own bed, in the home that I paid for? I've been here forever. Everything is, set up how I want it to. And I'm uncomfortable, all because the TV is off. What is going on? That just let me know that there was another level of healing to do. That just let me know that I still have my own crutches. Because I'm a person, if I realize that you are toxic or you are just not ready to move and ascend with me, I will drop you instantly. I do not care if our moms are best friends and we grew up together. If I realize you on some shit, you are gone. I will be lonely. That is fine. I don't care. I am happy. And honestly, I was just thinking this entire year of quarantine, I've been a lot better than I am on a regular basis, just, dealing with everybody, I did not feel held down. When it was time to ascend and to heal some shit, I was already in the place to go because I didn't have to let anybody else go or change my environment. I completely and fully understand that you have to be uncomfortable for things to change. And right before last night, I was thinking, oh, I feel a little bit stagnant and I'm not, dreaming how I need to. And, I just don't feel in tune spiritually. Like, what do I need to do? I was looking forward to, getting over a health hump so I can get back in tune. Like, okay, maybe after this. And I just had that appointment yesterday, so I'm feeling a little better. Like, hopefully I can get back in tune, because health and spirituality are literally hand in hand. Just in case you didn't realize that they absolutely are. Don't ever think that your health and what you have going on is separate from wherever you are spiritually. I promise you, there is always a spiritual reason behind every single ailment. Every single one. But anyway, I'm thinking, okay, after this situation, I can get back on track. I'm not feeling in tune. I'm not dreaming how I need to. Let's get back on track. And lying there, uncomfortable, I was forcing myself to go through it because I just got to a place where I like bring on, the discomfort. I am so ready to ascend. I am so ready for that next stage. Whatever I have to do, I am like not one to really put myself out there. Even now, I don't do lives. This is literally my first time doing this. I have no idea what I am doing. I'm just hoping that, it falls on somebody's ears. I don't know. I'm winging this shit. I am winging this shit. But I know that everything great, all those things that I want, even the smaller things, being uncomfortable in my bed, that is literally pushing me towards the level that I want to be, where I want to go, the money that I want to see, all of it. All of it. Because as I get used to not having that TV on, that frequency is cut off, and maybe my dreams are going to get clearer, the messages that I need to get clearer. Maybe it was just time that spirit was like, I know that you've been getting by doing it this way, but I need you to step it the fuck up. That's where you need to be. I know it's uncomfortable for you, but I need you to do this so I can get you to where we need to be. It ain't necessarily just about me. It is about my mission, my purpose, my calling, those people who I need to help, even though, I ain't met them yet, or they don't know me, or I don't know what I'm doing. But all of these little steps is leading me to that big thing, to where I don't know, save somebody's life. Like all of that, the butterfly effect in life is really real. So everything that you do, don't ever think that it's insignificant, because everything you do is literally leading up to something. It is literally as simple as, you don't know that you're spiritual. You don't know why, but you're just trying to make it in life. And just because you turn left and go to work a wrong day, you could be saving like 10,000 people's lives. Like that's just how life works. So even when you can't predict those things and how you're going to help somebody, the one thing that you can do is focus on yourself and be how you need to be for yourself. And I just happen to be a spiritual person, which means that that's where I'm going to help. That's where I'm going to lead. And, so everything that I do is going to be for that mission. And I've already been on the move. The things that have been happening are miraculous, even though they can be tiny from the outside looking in. But for me, it's major, and it's very much evidence that I am leveling up. And even this small thing, like in that space, in that quietness, in my vulnerability, all because I fucking chose to lay there in the dark for the first time almost ever in my life, at least I didn't do it on purpose, if I was, sleep without the TV on. But last night, I did it purposely. First time in 32 years. That shit is really tripping me out. But, I needed to happen. And right there, I got my message. Like, I need you in a different place. What was working before will not work anymore. If you say you want this thing, then don't sabotage yourself. Don't step in your own way. You may not understand what this is, and I just gotta chill. So I know clearly I'm going somewhere with this, and it needs to be said. You may not be comfortable. You may think that this is a very small detail and it's something that, doesn't really need your attention and all of that stuff, but I need you to do it, and watch how I bless you for it. And of course, it just happened last night, so I ain't seen the blessing yet, but I know that it was significant. I know that everything right there, when I felt like I was being, stagnant, that was a fucking like slingshot to that next, stage. It's deep. Like I can feel the vibration in my chest as I'm talking right now of how much I didn't stand in my way, and I changed things. I changed the course of where I was going just by being obedient. I finally got the message. I finally gave up on the fight. And yeah, it was it's small, it's simple, but that was my fight with the fucking remote control. I let it go. I am not going to continue to fight against this just so I can get my way. Yes, that's ego. Yes, even in the small thing of turning the TV off for my own comfort. Yes, that small thing. Yes. Even that, I had to let it go. I had to stop my own ego and stop the fight for my own comfort and just accept it. I surrender. Clearly something new is happening here. Something needs my attention. I don't know what it is yet. I don't like it at all, but I give in. I surrender. Whatever is supposed to come from this, go ahead and let it come. Maybe I don't get some sleep for a while. Fine. Maybe I am uncomfortable in my spirit for a while. Fine. This is going to take some time. Fine. Fine. And when I tell you, I feel like I got an upgrade overnight. I don't even remember sleeping because it wasn't a comfortable sleep for me. And I know I was up for the most part. Clearly, I did get some. And I hope y'all saw those birds and how they were, and because they were a deflection off my, my back door. But at the same time, that was just a little deep. I look at all the messages. I don't miss a fucking thing now. And I actually love it. But anyway, I feel like I literally feel like I am not the same person I was yesterday. All from that one thing. You have no idea. It's crazy how we get in our own way. And this is the reason why it's tripping me out. If I had that much of a change and an issue with my fucking TV, with my TV, with turning off my TV and getting sleep at night. If I had a problem that much about discomfort and coming out of my comfort space and ready for change for a new on that small level, think about how we sabotage ourselves and get in our own way when it comes to relationships, when it comes to not giving up on family, when it comes to staying at that job even though it is crushing your spirit. There are all of these things. And we think they're small because they're inanimate objects or that person is they're just being a person. They're just trying to live. They're just trying to make it through, like we just try to make it. Why do I have to give them up? They're doing the best that they can. They're a good person for the most part. And, I think, or I'm going to fake like the goods outweigh the bad. You know what I'm saying? And we give ourselves a million different excuses. We give ourselves excuses even when we don't even realize it. Like for me, it was like, oh, thank you, putting my hair. I was sitting here thinking like I need to get it refreshed, but thank you for the compliment. I love my braids. I don't know if I'm gonna give them up anytime soon. But okay, so for me, I was like, I sleep with the TV on, even though I'm spiritual, even though I'm a dreamer, even though I pick up on frequencies left and right, but I'm just going to make sure to watch something really harmless and, it won't mess me up. That was my excuse. And then it worked for me so well. And then it didn't get in my way. Like I was thinking it was no problem at all. But here's the gotcha. I was sitting there protecting my ego, protecting my comfort, defending the reason why I don't want to move. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to change things, even though I'm sitting here petitioning to the heavens that, change my situation, change my circumstances. I want something new. I'm ready to give up everything. But here I go explaining why I don't have to give up this one thing. That is literally what we do all the time. And I need somebody to peep it and realize it. We do it all the time, and we'll do it before we even realize that we're consciously, excusing the reason why we can't level up. And then we will literally turn around and be like, I don't know why it's happening for me. I don't know why manifestation is not working for me. You literally just got in your own way. But the thing is, we need to realize how we're getting in our own way in those points in time. If nobody speaks about it, if nobody takes their first chance on TikTok to talk about those things, how will you ever get the chance to come across those things that are not talked about? Everything isn't talked about. A lot of the stuff that you come across, especially on spirituality, are the things that work. They're the little cliche things. They're the things that are happy, and they're going to get a lot of people, lining up to see more. That ain't me. It's never been me. And even in the unpopularity of it, somebody has to remain real. Somebody has to talk about the things that a lot of us miss, and I'm not saying that everybody misses it, but this might be the one thing that you peeped for yourself and you don't necessarily share with the world. You're just going to share those things that are easy to catch on. Some spirituality just gotta be deep, and you gotta keep it deep for those people to get it. And if everybody doesn't get it, that don't mean you hold on to that information just because you're trying to get more likes. At the very end of the day, if anybody is on here talking about they're doing it for spirituality, fuck those numbers. fuck those numbers. And my numbers are small. They are, 13K or whatever, but that was off of one thing. And that was, who knows if you'll go viral, continue to go viral, continue to go successful. I'm 32. I'm still brand new to TikTok. I have no idea what the hell am I doing, but we still have to do it. But at the end of the day, I got on here just to make it easier to help. Most of the time I take this video and I take it over to Instagram so I can get other people to see it, because I know a lot of people are listening and looking for messages there. But I'm still trying to figure it all out too, because this is a really great avenue to have, I suppose. But with that being said, you keep going and you move through the discomfort, even if the messages are not something that you like, and you share and you help. That is love. Even if I don't know you people, so we don't necessarily say that we love each other. But if I have a love for humanity and I am, I have a love for myself, which means that I honor and acknowledge my purpose and how I can help people, then I am going to do what I need to do. And that is still love. That is love making the world go around. Your mom, your friend, your family, that stranger over there, they're doing something that they don't necessarily want to do, or they're going to continue doing something even if it's not necessarily bearing fruit, because they know it's going to help somebody later. A lot of the things might be stacked against them, or it's something that they're not necessarily comfortable with, but it's going to help somehow, some way. Even if that person doesn't see it, it's going to help. It might be a long time down the road where it comes out that, oh shit, this helped. Or I can't believe this one thing made such a big change. That's the same thing that happened to me last night. I cannot believe this one thing made such a big change. And yes, I'm going to continue to see it through. I may not like it. It may even be a temporary thing, because a message needs to come through that hard, or maybe I just needed that frequency to end so I can get an upgrade, or just, to be prepared for whatever is coming. Whatever it is, even if I don't know, I surrender. I want change. I want growth. I want ascension that bad. And if I bring it back down to a 3D sense, I will literally fight anything that gets in my way of money. If we want to bring it back down to the human form, if I'm doing everything to make sure that my money increases, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I need to do for my money to increase. Point blank and period. Yes, that's spiritual. I mean, you don't realize it, but everything that you do and everything that you are taking care of with your body and your conscious and your ego, being a good person or not, doing the right thing even when people are not looking, all that shit affects your money. Money is energy. It's currency. Currency is energy, okay? All of it is energy. How do you use your energy? What energy are you usually in? Are you in bad energy? So what makes you think that another energy form, which is money, is going to be good without you doing what you need to do? Now, let me do something, because I'm a type of person, I will literally think of every aspect before I try to make a point. I want to be fair. I'm always like that. So I'm a person who is immediately going to think, well, what about those people who are evil as fuck, but they are getting their money? Well, that's where their focus was. That's where their praise was. Even if they're not spiritual, they were praising. They were doing ritual. They were doing what they needed to do for money and money alone. So you can be evil, but I promise you, your karma is fucking coming. But where are you putting your ritual? Where is your ritual? Everything is a ritual. Your eating is a ritual. Whatever job you commit to doing, whatever contract you sign, it's a fucking ritual. The way that your job is like crushing your spirit, that shit's on purpose. It's a ritual. Okay? However you take care of yourself, it's a ritual. And whatever that ritual is, whether you're conscious about it or not, it is bearing fruit. Whether it's completely going to ruin you or it's actually going to bring you bounty, it depends on the type of ritual. Slavery was a ritual. This entire racist system that we live in, which is so fucking successful, is a ritual. And the ritual bears fruit however it was meant to, okay? So if it's meant to bring somebody else down so you can be up, that's craft, that's magic, CK, that's what it is. It's a ritual, whether you realize it or not. So the point is, what rituals are you doing for you? What are you doing for you? Are you putting up with somebody even though you get anxious before you have to deal with them, or you are already, worried about the outcome when you're about to have a conversation, or you literally have to get your energy together just to deal with somebody? What rituals are you doing for yourself? Are you going to work happy, thankful? Are you like, this is only just a means to an end, I can't wait till I get to somewhere else, or I'm just gonna keep my head down and do what I need to do, and I'm just gonna find my happiness outside of it? Those are fucking rituals. What is your ritual? What are you doing for you? How are you taking care of your kids? How do your kids see you? What are you doing? Are you doing shit just to get by? Because doing stuff just to get by, I'm going to keep my head down, I'm going to do what I need to do, at least I'm doing what I need to do, even that mindset is a ritual. And if you don't realize it or not, it is crippling you without you realizing it. It is. It's hindering you. It is doing something. You have to be mindful of everything. Mindfulness is not something that you just bring into when there's a discord or an argument. You don't have to be mindful because now something has happened wrong. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of us go through life. You don't wake up mindful. When you open your eyes, before you pick up your phone, before you move, what is your ritual going to be? The way that you think, your thought process is a ritual. What are you doing? How are you changing it? How are you coming out or fighting your comfort so you can ascend? And that's if you want to, because everybody else, some people are like, I'm fine where I am, I don't want to move. And people do make that decision, whether they do so consciously or subconsciously. Everybody makes that decision. I'm gonna say something that you don't necessarily like too. There's all of us, every single one of us, find something that works for us. And if we like it enough, we're going to stay on that level. And that's life. That's totally fine to do. But what we usually are supposed to do is learn something, master it, and move on. That's what we're supposed to do. And I say that to say, don't get stuck looking for help. Okay, and let me get into that a little bit, what I'm really talking about. So I've been on my spiritual journey for a while now, for a little while, and for years. And I came across, tarot, a bunch of things, spirituality, how to do, certain things, this, that, and the third, which a bunch of other queens and men do and kings do as well. You find what works for you, or you're continuing to discover, and, you're going to find what works for you. You're going to go from there. Some of us find, maybe like tarot, and you master it and you get on your shit and you stick with it for years, and that's totally fine. But what was supposed to happen is that you learn it, you use it, and you share your gifts, and then you continue to ascend. You don't stay on that same level. Even if the craft moves with you, you're not supposed to stay on that level. There has been, and I know there are some people who have found tarot. Good morning, darling. There's some people who have found tarot, and I'm just using tarot as an example. I'm not using that as everything, because Christianity and being a preacher works with this too. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. But you find tarot, and you're supposed to, learn all about it. And it's just like, they're like, oh, I can do this. I'm making money from it. People feel like they're, it's working. I'm going to just stay here. And we have queens that have been doing it for 40 years and they necessarily have not ascended. They found what works for them and they stayed there. You are totally entitled to do that. But as for me, I have committed to healing. I have committed to ascension, which means that this shit does not stop. I'm not finding one thing like, okay, you know what? Well, at least I'm not in hell. I'm good right here. I'm going to stop. I'm not doing that. You really can't do that when it comes to teaching and spirituality, because the shit never ends. As long as you are alive, it will forever grow. And I say that to say, it can become a crutch. It can become a crutch. Like, okay, for me, if you're a preacher and you decide to continue to grow and elevate and you're still going to help a flock, well, if you have committed to always growing and never stopping, and you're going to help somebody as you heal along the way so they can heal too, then you have no choice but to come across the truth and how things are really supposed to be. And you ain't supposed to stay stagnant in that very vain position that people can get into. And the reason I say that is because when you learn something, you're going to learn it in and out, and you're going to learn the truth, and you're going to learn how it can be manipulated too. And it's up to you to be, have some ethics and some moral about you, and be like, I'm not going to stop here and use it in a vain way and just get stagnant and, make it a crutch for my ego. And I say that because if you're going to be a preacher, or if you're going to be a guider or in spirituality, you have to be real, and you have to always ascend. You cannot get stuck. And we see so many spiritual positions where people get stuck. There is no ascended master and you just stop and you just, that's it. And that's for work too. There is no job or occupation where you just have it and you just stop. Not even for a doctor. Even a doctor can elevate even as they grow and learn. Being in the same place for 40 years or whatever is insanity. It's madness. It's not supposed to happen to anybody. Even if you do the same type of work, but you continue to heal, it cannot be the same. Not for years and years and years. It's not supposed to be that way. And think of every genius that you know in whatever department. If they didn't lose their mind, they absolutely continue to ascend. Let me give you an example so you can see. Kanye is a genius. Kanye stopped when he got comfortable and got whatever he wanted. He fucking went insane because he wasn't being true. He wasn't, living his truth anymore. He stopped at a vain place. And it did what worked for him. I'm being honest, being real. Now he's changed since then. And that's why he's on a different field right now. And that's why things have to separate from him when that happens. Nothing on Kim Kardashian. I'm just using one person as an example. Let's use his boy, Jay-Z, kept ascending. Even in his union, even as whatever he was doing. He even had to leave rap. He had to come back to rap. He had to see it in a different life. He changed shit around and did, the business thing. I'm not going into the controversial part of it. Whatever you think is whatever you think. And I have my own thoughts about that too. But that's just an example of how, even when you master a level, you have to be committed to ascension and healing and growing. At all times. You cannot stay the same. It don't matter what you're doing. That's why the president can't even stay the president, because you have to keep ascending. It does not make sense to stay. Having a pastor for 60 years is insane. Think about that. Think about where he had to stay for 60 years. That's insane. That's why you ain't supposed to be stuck in no place anymore. I mean, not for that long. This is why they always talk about our generation. We don't stay at the jobs anymore. And I know I'm rambling at this point. I'm a swing it back around. But for real, they say our generation does not stay at jobs anymore. Like why is that? Because we're doing better. We're calling out traumatic things. We just do shit differently. Thank you. Yes, I do. And I haven't, lit up in a while, but I'm gonna do it after I'm done. But thank you. Thank you for vibing with me right now. But we ain't supposed to be doing jobs like that for years. Miserable, sitting at a desk, getting plaques, getting a fucking certificate that they print out for us because you've been suffering for 30 years and we thank you for suffering with us. I'll be damned. I'm not doing it. I honor my mom because I have no idea how she did it for us. But now that I'm here, I'm like, I cannot do this shit. But that goes for everything in life. It should be going for your eating habits too. There is no way that you are still, chomping down on Doritos 5 times a week, that you've been doing that for 20 years. It's just not supposed to happen. I'm not judging either because I still have my things as well too. But it's literally, if you have committed to ascending, you can't do the same things. You can't. I can't. My body was literally like, you can't eat this shit no more. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you've been eating it every single day of your life. It just don't work no more. Literally, that's what happened. Same thing with what I take delight in. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at the same shit anymore. I have more knowledge, education. My eyes are open a little bit more. And this is not funny anymore. That's actually trauma. You're actually a victim. You need to do something about it. It's not funny anymore. The slapstick comedy is not funny anymore. Not to go into it, but I'm just using it as an example. Martin is not funny. It's real problematic. But we're just going to leave it alone. I'm not attacking anything, but I'm using these things as an example. You know what I'm saying? Even if you go back, okay, Clueless, my favorite movie of all time. I've watched it with so many different eyes, a million different ways, because I'm not on the same mindset as I was when it first fucking came out. Do you get what I'm saying? You are not supposed to be in the same place for years and years and years and years and years. With that being said, I told you I was going to bring it back around. There was no way in the world. How the hell did I think that I was going to continue to be as spiritual and elevate and have all these gifts and still be moving how I was moving? How dare I? And that's what I had to say to myself too. How dare I? How dare I sit here and boast about how I'm a dreamer, how my dreams be so freaking vivid and things of that nature, over here complaining about how I can be so accurate on so many things that I dream, but I still can't dream the fucking lotto numbers. Yeah, that too. But I'm complaining about these little things, and even like, trying to be as patient as possible with other manifestations or whatever. But I'm not changing anything in my atmosphere. I'm sitting here being as egotistical as possible and talking and acting like, my regular routine is suiting me just fine. I don't have to ante up anymore. I don't have to do anything extra. I'm good right here. It's been working this far. It's going to continue to work for me later. And I've been powerful all this time. I can stay this powerful and do what I need to do. There's no way that I'm going to change, get anywhere new with doing the same shit that I've been doing. It just does not work like that. There is no way that your life is going to get any better while you refuse to change anything about it. Okay? That's going to go back down to the relationships. There is no way that relationship's going to get any better while y'all continue to do the same shit. There is no way that your weight is going to get any better when you refuse to change anything and you continue to do and eat and not do the same shit. There is no way that your hair is going to look any better if you just sit there and not move and do the same shit. Like, it's for every single ounce of life. And how fucking dare I think that I was going to continue to sleep through the night, with my TV. It's something really small, but it makes a difference at the end of the day. All of it. So what can I look forward to while I'm uncomfortable, while I'm about to go into a whole nother season of shit that I'm not looking forward to? Yeah, I have to keep saying it for myself because I think this is hilarious how small it is, but how much of a difference it's making. It's the fucking television. I have to keep saying it. I keep saying it like it's the fucking Catalina wine mixer because I'm just tripping out on how intense it was. It's a fucking television. It's a television. But I have to change up. How dare I think I was going to continue to do the same thing and then still have my gifts and my blessings and my, way of life, increase without doing anything more. How dare I? And then I just have to be thankful of how spirit steps in or how much I have made room for spirit in my life, because the same thing has happened before. I said I was going to wake up earlier. I said I was going to do, my workouts and things of that nature. And now I cannot fucking sleep any longer than 7 a.m. My body will wake me up. I cannot do it. My body said, okay, you said you wanted to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to make it possible for you. If I say I want more money, okay, you want more money, I'm going to make it possible for you to make more money. You get what I'm saying? You didn't just say you want more money. You said you wanted to make more money. So I am going to make a way for you to make that money. You didn't say I want you to drop money in my lap or whatever. And honestly, it just don't work like that. You have to find an avenue for it to come. But if you say you want this, I'm going to make a way for it. And peep the signs when I do. And don't self-sabotage yourself when it is showing in your face. All of that time when my shit was messing up, days in and days out, and I'm waking myself up at night to fix the situation, completely coming out of my sleep so I can make sure that the television keeps going so I can get some sleep. I mean, when I say it out loud, it sounds fucking ridiculous. So I know Somebody else can look at this and be like, I'm saying the same shit about my relationship. I look fucking ridiculous. And that's why I'm saying it. So I hope you can, have that perspective. I'm saying the same thing about my job. I'm getting somewhere, some means to an end. But what I'm saying doesn't make any sense. And now when I say it out loud, it sounds fucking ridiculous. Yeah, maybe you want to start that business, but you're not moving. Look, I'll use myself for example. I'll be completely real. I don't want to do this business, but I want to do this part, which means that I have to learn this business shit. I know I'm going to have to sit down and learn this business shit just so I can make sure I'm providing my service elsewhere. I don't want to do this, but I have to do this. So I was giving ample space and opportunity to sit down and learn what I need to in order to do what I have to do. We really have to open our eyes and open right here, because you be like, you know what, I want this money. I want this money to come in, and we don't get specific. We don't get, have the details. We don't really actually visualize how it's going to happen. We just put it on paper and be like, the universe will figure out the rest. Get specific, get your details together, and then be ready to work. My 3Ds, I always say this, 3Ds in life: discipline, diligence, dignity. Nothing happens. The other part of manifestation, the word that's hidden in manifestation that don't nobody else want to talk about, is discipline. It is not magic. It is not a fairy tale. It is not a fairy godmother that comes out and pops up and does what you need to do just because you in tune with her, deep enough. Fuck that. It's discipline. The next thing you need is diligence, because shit does not happen instantly. My number one problem has always been patience. I am an Aries stellium. What the fuck is patience? I feel like I literally, for the first time in my life, and I'll be 32 on April 5th, this is the first year where I finally understood why patience is a virtue. Because when you literally take out the man-made of you, just take out everything that man has made, all of it, all of your thinking about how shit should work in the 3D. Time is not real, and everything we think about is wrapped around time. Time got to be one of the most egotistical things that they actually implemented, and every time we focus on time, our ego steps in and it fucks us up. So if you don't understand why manifestation is working, it's because we do not fully grasp patience, and we are hung up on the 3D, and it comes to time. Time fucks us up. Let me give you an example. If somebody cuts me off in traffic, that means that it's fucked up my present right now. I don't like what happened. My ego comes in because I feel like for whatever reason in that millisecond of time, I was entitled and expecting to get what I want in this time. Something in my mind told me that this second right here is not supposed to be meant for somebody to cut me off and put me in danger in traffic. I'm pissed now. I'm mad. I got to get my vengeance because they fucked up the second in time that I thought it was supposed to go my way. It is that little, and it is that deep, and it is that serious. So you have manifestations. The moment you be like, I am doing what I'm supposed to do. Why isn't that working? It's because you're thinking about time and how you need it. You're expecting something. You're on a deadline. You're worried about something else. And you have forgot that this does not work by any other way but patience. Keep your discipline about you. Keep going even when you don't see shit happen. That's how patience is a virtue. And that's where your manifestations come to life. That's literally it. That's how it works. That third D is dignity. Have some fucking dignity about yourself and your life in every aspect, okay? Because manifestations ain't happening for niggas that's just doing whatever the hell they want to do and they really fucking up. It just don't work like that. Now again, let's go back to those people who are just evil. They're doing ritual to make sure that they're doing whatever the hell they need to do, and then they actually got other people doing ritual for them, so it's that much more powerful. That's why racist system is so fucking successful, okay? That's why slavery worked the way that it did. It's ritual, and then they get people to do the ritual for them, so they basically don't have to worry no more, okay? I mean, that was their diligence. That was their discipline. They don't got the dignity in it, but if you can stay persistent, like they even, and let's be real, even they took into consideration how patience is a virtue, because they started this shit and it ain't stopped yet. They didn't get upset that it wasn't working that first day. They stuck with the shit. It's sick as hell, but that's how it works. That's how it works. You need discipline. You need diligence. You need dignity. And that's all the shit that is in manifestation that people don't talk about. They don't. They keep it real pretty. I just reposted again. Even I have a real nice one. I spin bold because I get it back tenfold. It sounds real good. It sounds real pretty. It helps you flow. It gets your vibrations all nice up and down your body. And it does help. It helps. In fact, it even helps you to get your mind off of being impatient just for the 2 seconds. And as you continue to do it and continue to say it, that is your discipline, that is your diligence. And because you aren't manifesting anything negative, you are staying in your dignity. So yes, it does work, but also be real. All of this shit is not all pleasant and happy and rainbows and roses and chants and rhymes and stuff like that. Be real with yourself. You got work to fucking do. And it is not just, setting up an altar, having your crystals, having your plans, and then staying, positive and in peace and not really moving and not really doing anything. It don't work like that. The magic is in the work. All of your magic, all of this whimsical, mysterious stuff that you think happens by the sleight of hand, it's work. It's work. Don't nothing happen without work. There is no knight in shining armor coming for you, not for what you have to do. And say you find a man like that. I'm not saying, everybody has a different life, but I promise you're not going into your goddess energy like you need to until you do what the fuck you have to do for yourself. I mean, that's just how it has to work. And I have to remember that too. And I'm not saying it don't get fucking frustrating. You don't think I wasn't fucking frustrated from last night? I was like, I just want to fucking sleep. I can't have this one thing. I deal with all this other stuff all this time. And this is something so fucking small. You mean to tell me I can't have my How I Met Your Mother just playing throughout the night so I can get some sleep? I got to give that shit up too? Yeah. Yes, you do. Because I want to take you somewhere. You said you wanted to go somewhere very high. This is what we have to fucking do. It seems small, but if you want it, you're going to do it. Are you really going to give up your future and your purpose and everything you said you wanted for something as small as having the TV on in the fucking night? I need those messages to get to you. I need you open. I need you here. If you want to get there, I need you to be my warrior. You said you were my warrior. Do what you need to do. In everything. In everything. And yeah, you're going to have to remind yourself of this too. And yes, ego is going to come in because you are still having a human experience that is balanced. But with ego coming in, I need you to become mindful enough to understand that you can chop that shit down. It's going to take some time. It don't happen overnight. And yeah, it's going to have to take, just some time of you getting used to it. Because there were years when I said I was going to do something and I didn't realize I was getting in my way. And I would completely miss it and go on. It happened. But it was because I was diligent. It was because I checked myself. It was because I kept going. I am not giving up on this. I am not giving up. Things have been so uncomfortable. Things have changed for me a million times. And yeah, when you have a calling and you feel it, you're not going to be able to move how everybody else is moving. So yeah, I don't have a huge group of friends. I don't get to do things and have those regular, routine things that everybody else has. Because you know why? Because I'm not meant to stay in a routine, especially when I keep saying I got somewhere to go. I need this change. I need to be ever moving, and no, not in a circle motion. Fuck the circle. We are always ascending higher. So yeah, things ain't staying the same. Your clothes don't stay the same. Your weight don't stay the same. What you watch don't stay the same. How you sleep don't stay the same. How you worship don't stay the same. What you have in your house don't stay the same. When you once had a image or a poster of, I don't know, some fucking art or whatever, you change that shit out for something more spiritual. It just happens that way. When you were able to stomach macaroni and cheese, you just can't do it no more because dairy doesn't work with you or whatever. It's little stuff. Even when you decide, like I said, I was going to do better, but I just want this honey bun right now. It's that. It is literally in that moment. Like every moment or every choice that I see, I look at it as doing like a fork in a road. And I could decide, you know what, I just want to feed the ego. I just want to satisfy the flesh. And I'm just going to go over to my ex and I'm going to get some because it's been a while. And I don't think the world would, judge me for it. I'm going to be fine. Life is going to be totally fine and nothing bad is going to happen. That don't mean that I didn't completely ruin how I was just leveling up and I stopped myself and I stunted myself just because I went backwards for 2 seconds. It's like that. Yes, it's like that. If you say you're going to get somewhere and you're going to put a spiritual thing behind it, because everything has a spiritual reason behind it. If you know your health is going bad and you ain't supposed to do something anymore and you go back and you do it anyway, you literally just stopped yourself. You literally just stunned yourself. You let ego win over the soul, and now you got to regroup and go back again. Every single time I tell this to my son, he hates it. I've been saying this. If I'm not saying drink some water, I'm saying this. Every single time you skip the work the first time, you will absolutely end up having to do double the work the second time. I promise you, hand to God, that literally goes for every single thing. Think about when you were in class. Say you were doing like a math paper and it said showed your work. And you didn't show your work, but you just had, an answer there. Well, the answer is wrong. And now you have to not only see that it's wrong, you got to go back, you got to fix it, and you got to end up doing the work that you didn't do in the first place. It happens with everything. Say, for example, you didn't clean up how you were supposed to clean up, even though you knew somebody was coming over. Well, now it's down at the end of the road. Not only are you cleaning up and you're rushing, you're exhausting yourself. And yes, that is twice the work because you didn't do what you were supposed to do in the first place. Yeah, it happens like that. And it happens even on a more deeper level. If your spirit told you that you weren't supposed to be with that man from the very gate and you said, well, I just want to see what it happens because I could be wrong, because you were doubting yourself because you didn't have enough courage and security in yourself already, but we'll get to that another time. But anyway, you go through it anyway. Not only will you end up doing double the work because it's going to fucking exhaust you because that's not where you're supposed to be. You stopped your flow. So whatever increase, whatever abundance, whatever was supposed to come into you, you are now forcing, you are not flowing, which means that everything that was even on the way to you has stopped. You put a door in front of it. Now it is literally waiting for access. Now it literally needs somebody to come to the fucking VIP entrance to let them in one by one. That is extra work. And you have no idea when that's even going to come to you now because you didn't stop it. Because you did what you weren't supposed to do. And now you have to end up doing double the work. Not only do you have to let that person go, you're going to have to sit with the fact that you did all this extra work for nothing because all that exhaustion wasn't even worth the shit you weren't supposed to be in. And you got to do work on yourself now and heal from the shit. Double the work. Every time you don't do what you're supposed to do in the first place, you're going to end up doing double the work. And just by being mindful of that, just by being mindful, like I'm not forgetting what I said to myself, I committed to moving, to ever growing, to increasing. I want this change. I want this change more than anything. I will fucking fight you for it. I will fucking fight myself. And because I said that, I'm standing on my word. Yeah, I'm fucking fighting myself. And yeah, I will fucking fight my comfort of having the TV on all night. Something that seems so small just so I can get to that next level because I fucking want it that bad. All of that matters. All of that matters. I am going to be uncomfortable. I am going to feel vulnerable. I am going to shake in my body. My vehicle is going to be so uncomfortable. I am going to have tears. I am not going to like it at all. But I am moving. I am fighting myself. I am not going to be the reason I stand in my way any longer. I will cut this fucking television off just so I can, get where I'm going. And I feel like I wrapped up what I was going to say. So I am going to answer that, baby girl, Radiant Gem. But that's why I had to share, because I just thought it was so deep how something so small just matters. And nobody ever talks about it. You got to dissect that shit so you can really see the reason why you are being spiritual. Why are you being spiritual in the first place? What are you doing it for? All of that shit needs to happen and needs to come in so you actually make a difference with it. Why do this journey if you're not going to get nothing out of it? And that's just being real. It's not all about spirituality. If you make it all about spirituality, you're going to lose your fucking mind. The spirituality should be making it better for you to have a life here on earth, because this is the shit that we signed up for. There is a balance. All of it works. So you need to be mindful about everything that you're doing for the places that you said you wanted to go. Just be mindful of that. Baby girl asked me, any advice on self-love? Yes. I mean, I can keep going all day. Hopefully I don't do that. But I mean, I always have something. When it comes to self-love, you have to be honest with yourself. That is self-love. So, and when I say that, and it might just be my own demeanor, once again, I am an Aries stellium. I think war is just in my nature, even when I don't want it to be. And I'm not literally talking about turbulence and havoc and chaos, but I'm talking about be honest with yourself to the point where you're going to hurt your own feelings. Be honest with yourself to the point where you're going to hurt somebody else's feelings, but you still know that it's imperative, like it's important, and you move on. Okay? Self-love is me being honest and knowing I fucked up. Self-love is, it really ain't got shit to do with them. Let me see where I messed up. Let me, fix things on my end and take accountability, for my shit, so I can be better. And that is self-love. And let me tell you why. The reason why chin checking yourself is self-love is because you will not be able to help how you have become mindful and how you have shown up for yourself. Showing up for yourself is self-love. You get what I'm saying? It's not a bath and everything like that. That could be self-love too, but that is also showing up for yourself. When you chin check yourself and realize, okay, I fucked up here, I gotta make it right, that is showing up for yourself. And when you show up for yourself, you have no choice but to begin to take stock. It's a vault that builds within you as you take accountability. And you're going to be like, I do this. I did this. I did that shit. You get what I'm saying? Grand rising to you too, queen. I righted my wrongs. I worked my ass off. I fucking healed. That thing that I thought was going to kill me did not kill me. I made it through. I humbled myself. I picked myself off the ground. I did what I needed to do. I am taking care of myself. I can look myself in the mirror. I faced those things that were embarrassing for me. I did it. I did that shit. That's what I'm saying. That's why you have to show up for yourself. When you can say, I did that shit, I literally look at myself as a diamond. That means can't nobody just touch me how they need to. I'm walking around and I know for a fact that I do not deserve that disrespect or wherever it's coming, because I did the work. You get what I'm saying? There is no point in time. I don't care how fucking hated I am. And I had a thing that I said before. This last year, I stood up for myself and I decided not to take no shit. I have never been more respected and more hated in my life. That's what happened. Because I finally worked on myself, and it doesn't happen overnight, but I worked on myself to the point where I am embodying the empress and the goddess that I am. You get what I'm saying? That means can't nobody convince me out this shit. Why? Because I have the work to back it up. I did that shit. That means I know for a fact it's down, even if it's not on paper or whatever, but it's written in my DNA code. I put that fucking work in. You get what I'm saying? So can't nobody take it from me. And because I have the work behind it, because I know I went to war for myself, I know that I deserve all that self-love, which means I can walk in it. I can embody it. Can't nobody take it from me. That is it. Like, you can't, and it's not being narcissistic. It's the fact that I am giving myself the validation and the vindication that I've always needed. I am warranted for it. You get what I'm saying? It's not just saying it. It's not a whole bunch of, good posts that you find on Instagram and you post it around your wall. You have to walk in it. You do need discipline and diligence and dignity in your self-love to really embody it. The work has to come in. It's not just about, manifesting abundance and stuff like that. That is manifesting your goddess energy, your self-love. Doing the work is manifesting self-love. So that's why it is just, you have to do the work. You have to, that's all. That's literally all that it is. Another reason why therapy is nothing to be embarrassed about. It is actually a spiritual thing, or counseling or life coaching, whichever one works for you, because they literally all make a difference. I literally suggest all of them. I suggest therapy along with life coaching, along with spirituality and those lessons too. I advise it for everybody, for all, because they all make a difference. You can't really just, therapy alone doesn't do it, because it's a science and things of that nature. What do you do with the social part? Yeah, it can address some social situations, but it does not actually get you into those social places to actually heal it. You actually going to have to put this shit to execution for shit to actually heal. That was even something that I asked myself too. Well, now that I'm learning more and I done did all the studying, but I've been secluded and in a hermit mode while I was doing all the studying. How do I actually know that it actually worked? How do I actually get this in motion? How do I know if I actually learned the lesson or not? Well, I actually got to put it in play. I got to learn how to be social all over again with this new healing and this new education that I have. How do I do that? How do I get there? A psychologist can't tell you that. A therapist can't necessarily tell you that. But you know what? A life coach who has life experience, who actually put this shit in play, they actually felt all the butterflies in their stomach and they walked out and they did it. They had to make that change, because it is scary as fuck to implement your boundaries and place new standards and walk into a new light when you have the family that you always had, or you had the friends that you always had, and it's been an imbalance in those relationships all this time, and now here you come wanting to do something different because you want to honor yourself, and all of a sudden people don't like it. What do you do? How do you handle that? How do you get there? Well, a therapist can't help you do that. They don't know about the social stuff. Who studies the social cues? Who studies how to integrate this new you into life, into your new life? Who tells you how and when to decipher the spirits? Your spirit of discernment is your bloodline. If blood runs through your body in the 3D sense in your vehicle on this earth, then your spirit of discernment is what flows through your soul. I'm serious. And everything you do for yourself, all the healing that you do, all the self-checking, all the chin checks, all the accountability, all of that boosts and it fuels and it grows your spirit of discernment. And that is how things happen and work. So if if you're like, you know what, somebody told me to don't let people disrespect me. Well, how do you know what every single part of disrespect is? There's a lot of time when you say you weren't respecting, you're still letting microaggressions fly by and passive aggressive bullshit fly by, because you don't necessarily know what those cues are. What are those things? But your spirit of discernment will tell you when somebody is fucking playing in your face, and then they're the ones who need to go. But who tells you that? A psychologist can't tell you that. Life coaches need it. But anyway, getting off topic, going down a different road. All of that is necessary, and the accountability that you take, that you said you were going to do this work, is self-love. That is self-love, and can't nobody take it from you when you know that you did the work. I know I went through hell. I lost a lot of people. There are people that I didn't want to lose. I felt like I was wrong plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? I healed. I said sorry. I had to forgive people who were not apologetic or who lied in my face. I have people who we all have it. We have some really fucking dark stories. But I worked through them. I went inside. I went to that child who was in a jail cell down there underneath a whole bunch of shit that I didn't even realize bothered me as a child. Yeah, there were things and there were different scenes that were playing in my head, like, as I was, from being a kid. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm just, remembering stuff. But meanwhile, it's your spirit trying to get to you until you wake up like, hey, I keep playing this because it was never okay. I need you to do something about it. And I just need you to get to the, to the level where you can actually recognize it so you can do something about it. It's just ever flowing. Hold on. It's part of self-love, taking time for your spouse, especially when you give everyone your time. Yes, it absolutely is. Absolutely is. To the point where you almost need to force your alone time on you. Solitude is where healing happens. That's where it gets quiet enough for you to really, get those lessons. And, even all those things that played, even like if you had guidance from somebody else before, you'd be like, man, I can never forget that. That was so good and everything like that. Yeah, you might say that to yourself. You might even print it out and put it on your wall so you can remember it and not, forget it. But your DNA is what needs to remember it. And that only happens until it is quiet around you, until other spirits are not, interfering with your energy, for it to actually implement, for it to actually do something and actually make a difference. That's another thing too, because I didn't realize, and I can go back to, why I started this live in the first place. I didn't realize how, I'm fine in my solitude. I'm good. I love it. And I love all the healing and the downloads and the messages and epiphanies that come through when I'm by myself, because I'm always healing. I'm always in that state. But also, I didn't realize how even the TV was an accompaniment for me. It was company. Meaning I still wasn't fully alone to get to hear some of those other messages that I needed to hear. That's what tripped me out too. I thought I was doing all the due diligence and having my alone time too and making sure I have my self-love. But here I go, something else. I didn't realize I was putting something else in that place, and I was still avoiding myself. And it was a whole nother level of insecurity and fear and a whole nother, it's like a womb opened immediately as soon as I went to that uncomfortable place and turned that TV off. So of course there are going to be wounds and there are going to be different things that come up when you finally say, I'm not hooking up with y'all, or don't come over. I'm just going to take some time by myself. Technically, there was a huge spiritual upgrade that was happening this entire last year, and that's what quarantine was for. Yeah, we have our own reasons for it on the 3D, but it was such a pivotal moment for shit to change. When you finally had that alone time, you had no choice but to sit there by yourself. This is why some people unfortunately went crazy. This is why suicides went up, because some people just genuinely can't get through it, and they don't realize that they're going to be fine on the other end of that. This is another thing that I try to push pretty, on a regular basis. The pain that you feel, the pain, all the healing that's going to come up, and it could be scary to think about those old things because you immediately remember the pain. That pain can't hurt you no more, and at least no further, okay? It might be painful again, but mind you, it's not a brand new pain. You can get through it because you already got over it before, and it cannot be a brand new pain. It cannot open up again and hurt you all over again and hurt you in a brand new way. Now, if you continue to avoid it, it will continue to hurt at the same progress as it always has. Do you want to live in that constant pain, or do you want to feel what you need to feel right here, right now, so you can get over that pain, and that pain can actually, end up stopping? That's what needs to happen. And that shit only happens by yourself. You cannot heal in groups. You can get lessons in groups. You could be educated in groups. That's why we had school and that's why we had class. Yeah. But there are things that happen that when it's just one-on-one. And you can't, we know people who run from that all the time. People who love to party. People, I just got to party. I just love it. That's just my nature. That's not necessarily anybody's nature. That is a condition that was learned. That's, just how society, moved for us. So we can avoid ourselves. So we never heal. So we never realize how magical we are. So we never realize how badass we are. So we can continue to be controlled. So we continue to do what they need to do so they can make money off of us. That's what it is. That's why you love partying. That's why you love being entertained all the time. That's why you stay in your phone 24/7, because you avoid that space. You ever, put your phone down for a minute and thinking to yourself, I gotta, take a break from this screen. Like, damn, I'm just feeling numb. And then you pick it up like 5 seconds later, because what are you doing with your space and time? There's nothing else to do. Let me just pick up my phone again. There's an uncomfortable thing that happens right there in that moment that you don't like, even if you don't even realize it, but it happens in a snap second. You're like, oh, it's too quiet, or it's, I'm getting bored. I don't know what to do with myself. Let me find something to do. But what happens if you just stayed there, if you just sat? if you just thought, if you just started talking to yourself. Talking to yourself is not crazy. In fact, they made it seem like it was crazy so you can avoid yourself, so you never get in tune, so you never actually fully heal. I mean, honestly, there are some things, and I'll be honest, in my ego, yes, I go to therapy. Yes, I think about therapy. It's not a problem at all. Yes, I am a life coach myself. And yes, I see my own life coach. I told you, I feel like it's all necessary. You need those people to talk to, especially there's always going to be something that you feel like you can't talk to your friends about. There are plenty of times you can't lie to me, lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me. I know there's been plenty of times where you like, I am going through something, but everywhere I turn, I just feel like they will not understand. I need to talk to somebody so bad, but they are not going to fucking understand. Who can I turn to? This shit is killing me inside, but I know my friends can't handle this. I know they're not made for this, that, and the third. I just know it. Damn, what do I do? Yeah. Everybody has those moments. And whether you realize it or not, yeah, you can get a therapist to help you. Yeah, you can get a life coach to help you. Yeah, you can get a counselor. Yeah, you can get a friend. Yeah, you can. But also, I see it. I'm going to answer in 2 seconds. But also, you have to sit for yourself. Yeah, you're your own therapist. There's some times where I know that there was something I needed to deal with and heal, and I didn't necessarily go to my therapist right away. I knew I could sit there and figure it out, though, or I can go into a meditative state, or I may not get the answer right away, but a few meditative states or a few times alone with myself, and the answer will come. You need that. You need it. It is absolutely necessary. And yes, that is self-love, because you have committed to the discipline. You have committed to the work and the diligence it will take on yourself. That is work for yourself. That is self-love. And you're committed to it. You are honoring yourself. Being divine or in your goddess energy or being spiritual, there's never a time where you just don't have to do work. There's never a time where you just come to this level where all work has stopped. Please don't be doing this because you feel like you're going to get your forever love. Please don't do this because you feel like there's a way out of work altogether. All the things that you hate about life, it's just, that's why they sold us fairy tales. And that's why a lot of us can't get past those fairy tales. And that's why a lot of us deal with a lot of shit, because those fairy tales are in the back of our mind thinking that it's possible. Well, I'm not saying that the good life is not possible, but they absolutely lied to us on how the fuck that shit's supposed to happen. And that's why we end up going fucking stir crazy. Yes, alone time is absolutely necessary. Let me go back. First of all, how can you reach your guides? I don't really have a lot of guides. Okay, that is not personal at all. It took me a while to reach my guides. It took me a while because of my ego. It took me a while because I was brand new to this shit. I don't know what I'm doing, what is going on. This is another thing that I do. I know other people probably do it too. I have a habit of, when I come to something new and I get interested in it, I'm going to research it like crazy. I'm going to come to a bunch of different people who might be talking about the same thing or on the same vibe. And I'm going to try to follow and learn from all of that. And then the accumulation of all of this energy and all of this information and how all of these people are doing it in their own way is going to get to me, and I'm going to get overwhelmed, and I'm going to be like, fuck it. And then you're going to be to the point where I don't know how to do this shit, and you're going to get discouraged, and you're either going to leave it alone altogether, or you're just going to stay stuck at ground zero. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I definitely do this shit. So what I realized ended up working for me is, before I knew what to do, before I knew what I was doing, before I knew what spirituality was, I said, I'm just going to be a good person. One of the first things, the thing that actually started my journey was asking questions. I started asking questions. And the first thing I asked was like, well, what is real? Religion is starting to, show itself. I just want what's real. That's a whole nother thing that started first. But the thing that really helped, I asked my godmother, this is, she's a pastor, but this is before I got to where I was, and this was years ago. I was like, how can you tell and decipher between the voices that you hear? When do you know it's the good thing to, the right thing to do, or the bad thing to do? She's like, if it's not hurting somebody, then that's the right thing to do. If it's all about yourself, but it's sacrificing somebody else, then that's not the right thing to do. That's your ego. That's what you don't listen to. But I said that to say, I went back to that teaching. I went back to the basics, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to be mindful of my thoughts and try to be the best person I possibly can be, even if I don't understand all of these, projects or instructions or these rituals that everybody else is doing as I'm learning this brand new thing. Now, what happened was, I continued to do my due diligence and learn stuff. I was gathering information. I wasn't necessarily putting it into play. I'm hearing about people talk about spirit guides and how they work with orishas and their altar and all that stuff. And I was like, I don't even know where to begin. What do I do? How do I do that? But I know that I'm at least on the path to being a good person. I just want to be a good person, even if I can't figure all that other shit out, even if I'm still learning, even if I'm not sure that, well, is this the right teacher or if that's the right teaching? Am I being wrong for leaving Christianity, or am I on the right track? Am I, dooming myself, or am I doing the right thing? Well, in all of that, even if I'm not sure, even if I don't have those answers right now, I'm going to be a good person. And you know what happened when I was a good person, even before all the spirituality? The messages and the guides came to me. I sat there and I was patient, and it ended up coming to me. And this is when I started dreaming. And I literally, this is before I understood anything. I had the orishas come to me in my dream. I had no idea what I was seeing. And I was like, who the fuck is this? What is this? What does that mean? Oh my gosh, that's so scary. What is going on? I just so happened to talking to those people who I'm starting to see. I'm following them on social media, little old me and huge old them. And I'm just following and I'm learning. And then I'm taking stock of what is coming to me all on its own. And then the dots are starting to make sense. This is what they were talking about. That's what they meant. Oh, they were right. I will just simply see it for myself. You can't force this shit. And this is why so many people get themselves fucked up in spirituality, because they're trying to force it. I want to be a witch. I just want to hex somebody. I just want to, do this. They say they're doing this and putting on paper and burning stuff. Let me do it now. It's working for them. Pause, because what you didn't see is that person has been working on themselves for years. What you didn't see is all the stuff that they messed up on. What you didn't see is how they almost burnt their fucking house down because they thought they had this ritual right or something like that. And the spirit said, fuck that. That's what you didn't see. What you didn't see, what you don't know, is a couple people already ended up bringing on their own demise because they were doing something wrong and they didn't have the patience to wait to actually figure out and wait to learn how it's really supposed to happen. That's what you didn't see. And that's what people don't talk about. If before you know what you're doing, be the best person that you can be. It's the same thing at school. There was times where you were in school and it's like, oh, I don't really understand this part, but I'm going to keep going and then maybe I'll, get it. And I know everybody's had that moment. Even I've had that moment. I was like, oh shit, I get it now, That's what happens. Just be the best person you can be. It's going to come to you. My guides came to me. My guides, because that kind of sound like guides. My guides came to me. Even with the ancestor thing, I didn't even know where to start with the ancestor thing. You know what's crazy? I just have to mention it. There's nobody out here. There's nothing around. And for whatever reason, I'm smelling the sweetest smell. I don't live by any places that should be having bakeries or donuts, something like that. But there's a sweet smell here. That means the spirit's right. That means that clearly I'm supposed to be here on this live for whoever. But anyway, I didn't know what to do with these altars and nothing like that. And I started having dreams. Everybody may not necessarily be a dreamer, but a message is going to come and it's going to come clear. And that message is not going to get clear until you are the person that you need to be in order to receive it. With that being said, be patient. Be the best person you possibly can be, even if you don't know what you are doing. Remain diligent. You know what? This shit is a little bit crazy, but I'm going to remain steadfast and I'm going to learn what I need to. I'm going to be the best person I can be in the meantime before I become that master, because everybody was at this place. Everybody was completely lost at one point. Everybody was frustrated at the million different ways to do it. Everybody got frustrated because this person's doing it one way and then they're wrong. Everybody got frustrated. Everybody got lost from a person who was spiritual and didn't realize that spiritual ego came in. Spiritual ego got to be the most damaging and dangerous thing there is. I don't even want to get into that because it is that spiritual ego gotta be the worst. And I don't know if you ever seen it, but somebody who done got so full of themselves that you can't tell them shit. They literally talking to you about how you need to be ever growing and ever opening your mind, but they won't even take into consideration somebody else's words. Spiritual ego is some shit. So I know everybody has been to the point where they didn't know, they were lost, they were following a couple different people. This person does it one way and it works for them, and this person does it another way and it works for them, and they're saying that each other is wrong, and here you go lost in the middle of it, and you don't know what to do, and then you get overwhelmed and you be like, fuck it, I'm not dealing with this shit. Or you start seeing some stuff that scares you and you completely leave and you back up, and then you be like, okay, well, it didn't work for me that way, these people are full of shit, and you go with your ego, and there's a bunch of other things. Remain steadfast. Have your dignity about you. Remain disciplined. I don't understand it. I'm not seeing what everybody else is seeing, but I'm going to keep going. I promise you, hand to God. Even if, the element that works for you is different. Some people work with water. Some people work, with energy and earth. Some people work with plants. Some people work with fire. Some people candles. Everybody has their own thing. Remain steadfast. Say, I might be confused, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to have patience. I'm going to breathe. And I'm going to, kind of lay this thing out. I'm going to start planning and organizing. Organize the knowledge that you get. It helps. It helps. Because it can be really chaotic in your mind, and it can make you feel like this is it. I was doing all this to get to a better place, and I feel like I'm even worse. This is it. I'm done. It happens. Keep going. Your spirit guides will come to you. They will show up. Yeah, that does sound like some magical stuff, but that's what's going to happen. Because you know why? I don't care how ascended they are, because you can be spiritual. You can see visions. You can see visuals. Yes, you can get to the point, and some people just work with different dimensions and different spirits to the point where you can see somebody else's spirit guides, and you can actually explain what they look like because you can see them very clear. You can see, you can feel energies when they change. Yeah, you can do that. But can't nobody tell you who your spiritual team is and what they should be. They can't say, you need to praise this one person and this one person alone. You focus on that and that's it. All these other people don't work. Do as I say. They can't say that shit. Can't nobody say that shit. And anybody who is actually real in spirituality will know that. That's a reason why sometimes you ever come across somebody saying something and it seems so general and so cliche and so open to interpretation that it's just frustrating. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or who are you talking to? Or what are you talking about? Or like, you said something that can go for literally everybody. Because when you finally understand for yourself and you get to the point where that download happens to you, it is going to sound cliche. Like, patience is a virtue. Do you know how much that shit used to piss me off? Stop saying that shit. What do you mean by virtue? Do you use virtue in a regular sentence? On a regular day, then why are you using it for this? Why can't you just make it clear? Why do you keep saying patience is a virtue and then leaving me here to figure that shit on my own? That shit pisses me off. It's stuff like that. I know everybody has come across it. Like, why are you keep saying this real general thing and somebody is supposed to just have peace after they hear it? How can you just, say that? Because when it is your time to get it, that's when it will make sense. I can't go to a Tyler and talk about all this shit with them and stuff like that. They're going to be like, what? You know what I'm saying? I can give them all the information, but it is not time. They have not done what they needed to do. They have not grown and evolved to the level that they need to be on in order to receive that information, okay? It's the same thing with us in our adulthood, even when we're taking on something brand new, even in the spirituality. By the way, I appreciate that compliment. I just didn't say anything. I just kept going. Kev. But that's how it is. It doesn't seem like it's supposed to be that way, because we're adults, It's almost like we have this subconscious ego again, behind it. It's like, we're not learning like kids anymore. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It is still the same process. Clearly, you're not going to be in the same level as a kid, but it's still the same process. You got to come up to something. You have to learn it piece by piece. You cannot just and understand it. You can't learn how to be a mechanic from day one just because you've always been interested in the parts and you know the names of it. It don't work like that. It don't matter how much you've seen. You have to stop You have to do it piece by piece, step by step for yourself before you actually know what the hell you are doing. It does not matter. It's the same thing for spirituality. It's the same thing for your gifts. It's the same thing for your craft. And with that being said, yes, I know you were talking about guys, but what naturally comes later is how you get into your own craft and your own magic and your own, manifestation tactics or whatever that you do. Wait until it's your time. It will show itself. It will come to you on your own. Do not speed that process up. There are so many people who want to speed that up. Just tell me how you do it. Just tell me how it works for you. And yeah, you can share different rituals with people, the simple stuff. But until it is your time to actually work on that, shit is going to either stay stagnant or it's going to go completely awry. Another reason why patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue because when you don't force and you flow, that's when things can happen. That virtue part means that patience is your access. Patience is your key. Patience is that ingredient that you need. Nothing else works. Nothing else works until you understand that. And even if you don't understand that, it don't matter what the hell you do, that blessing or that understanding or any of that is not going to actually implement until it's fucking time. So you can be impatient all you want to, but until it's time, it ain't happening. And if you keep forcing, you're going to mess yourself up. That goes with spirit guides. That goes with your own craft. That goes with your own intelligence. That even goes for, and let me give you an example. This has been me. I know plenty of people who can sing their ass off, but they're not, famous or whatever. And then there's some people who probably shouldn't have had fame as quick as they needed to. With that being said, we've seen people fuck it up immediately. We've seen people go crazy. We've seen people actually do the worst. And it's like, why would you do that to yourself? You have everything. You have the world in the palm of your hands. Why are you acting like this? If I had those opportunities, if I had that moment, I would definitely not be doing that. And you'd be like, why are they doing that? Because people forced instead of flowing. Okay? They got something that they said they wanted. Yeah, they were adamant about it. And yeah, it's on a man-made level, on a 3D level. It's kind of cool, I guess, that, they were working so hard that they fucking got it. Okay, but they weren't supposed to have it. What we don't see is the destruction that's on the way, or the destruction that happened, or all the shit that went wrong. Hey, boo. Because they weren't supposed to do what they, end up doing. They weren't supposed to force that shit. And that's why things are going crazy. Like, okay, and I'm going to use this for an example. Chris Brown, because I always think of Chris Brown. Chris Brown is so talented. He is so gifted. He is so blessed. He's actually really spiritual too. It's just some, just from knowledge, you can see that. But when you don't understand it, when you are pushed into, an area you ain't supposed to be at right away, things go fucking awry. They just go awry. And before he understood that, he, did whatever he did, even messing around with drugs, because when you're not ready for the shit that is being revealed to you, it can fuck you up. That's why there's a balance needed for spirituality. You can't be completely spiritual. You can't be completely all about your flesh too and say, fuck that. You're going to be fucked up somewhere or another. Do not believe anybody who act like, I'm completely, fine without doing this one thing. Now, they're tormented somewhere. There's something, even the void. If you don't feel your spirit, if you think you are all this body and you just supposed to be mechanical and do what you're supposed to do in life, you're basically already dead. It's more there. Now I feel like Chris Brown is starting to get his self together and stuff like that. I feel like he probably already knows how spiritual he is now, and I think he's really getting into that. He puts little evidence in his stuff here and there, and if you catch it, you catch it. But if you haven't caught it yet, it's because you haven't gotten to that level where you're supposed to be for you to understand it. You're going to start catching stuff more and more. And I'm just going to throw this out here. If you happen to be spiritual, or if you're not spiritual yet, or if you're still growing into it, go back and watch a whole bunch of Marvel stuff. I swear to God, I have always wanted to do a tarot deck from Marvel shit alone, especially Doctor Strange. There's so many spiritual things. If you haven't caught it yet, WandaVision is, that whole first season was basically shadow work. It was a spiritual journey. I could break it down for you, but maybe we'll do that a whole nother time. But it's really deep. There's so many messages in there because other people had to do it and had to understand this stuff too. It's funny. It's a very unique experience, but the collective consciousness and understanding is there. It's there. So we can help. We can help us but so much. We can't do the work for you. Healers do not heal anything for you. I mean, I didn't mean to jump here, but we can't do it for you. It is always going to be a parallel experience. I am still healing, even with the knowledge that I have, and I can help somebody else too, but I am always still doing my own thing. I have to walk my own path so I can see you and I can, talk you through it, but you got to do your own shit yourself. Everybody has to. So if a healer says, give me some money and I'll handle this shit for you, they are lying to you. It is a fucking scam. You are about to get messed up because a healer can't do it for you. We can help you with the education so you can understand, so you can do it for yourself, but can't nobody do it for you. Be patient. I'm telling you, and I know it's hard to just say it and for somebody to just grasp it because I was the same way. I can hear what I need to do all day. That does not mean it's going to actually instill in me and actually write its own DNA until it's time. So if by chance you are able to just embrace patience now, I promise you things are going to move so much faster. I promise you, you'll be that much more successful. If you hold on to patience, you will be that much more successful. It's funny. It's almost ironic in how I need to say that, but it's the absolute truth. As soon as you do what you need to do, but if you let it go, that's when things get that much faster. Don't force. Don't force flow in everything. And I see what you said. Death is separation from source. I think death, the process of death is going to a separation from source. But I don't mean, but let me get this right how I want to say this. I personally believe that the heavens is heaven. You know what I'm saying? I think hell is right here on earth, how you can do it. I don't necessarily believe that when you die, if you were a horrible person, you're going to a place of fire. I don't necessarily believe that. I believe that when we are outside this body, we go back to a collective consciousness. That's what I believe. And with that being said, that's why people say God in me as me. That's why I say that, because we are all connected. Everything is connected. So with that being said, on earth, we say, if you're not in your body, if you're not living, if you're not walking around amongst everybody else, then you're dead. So I'll use that word. But to be dead is to be back with the source, to be a part of that collective consciousness. That's just me. That's just what I believe. But I do agree. The process of death is separating, but you're really just transforming. You're really just, I was connected to source while I was on this earth, and I had to connect with them this way because I was in my body. But now that I'm not in my body, I am connected to source in a whole different way, and I don't need that middleman. Your body is the middleman. 3D life, your flesh and your ego and how you're doing this life, that's the middleman to source. So the death is a process because you are coming out of your one form into another. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you are gone from source after death. I know we went somewhere else, but I think that was really deep, and I think that was just something to address. This is why you can be connected to source. People say it, and everybody has their own way to, deal with death. But, Christians and believers of that nature say, now you're finally with God, So it's death, you may not be with God, but being dead, you are, they're with you. People like to say, she's not suffering no more, she with God and everything's all good. Yeah, you can think of everything being all good, especially when you don't have to deal with all the hell. But until any of us know for sure, you still with source. It's just death itself that's not it. But if I can, go somewhere else with that. And I said I was not going to be talking like this. Oh my goodness. But anyway, if I can go somewhere else with that, that's exactly why everybody needs to have an ego death in order to connect with source. That's why I said death is a process. You know what I'm saying? Just like giving birth is a process, it's a labor. So actually being in the, the process of dying, it's just a process. It's something that you do. It's a ritual, actually. But you can still have an ego death while you are still living, and that's how you actually get closer to the source. That particular middleman needs to die for anything to actually happen. Once again, this is how patience is a virtue is the thing, because ego cannot really exist and be controlling shit when you surrender to patience, surrender to the fact that time is not real, surrender to the fact that everything ain't supposed to be how you think it's supposed to be. This expectation is really going to fuck you up. Thinking that you have all the answers really fucks you up. Stopping yourself from being uncomfortable, holding on to those things that comfort you, even though they're not good for you, that is keeping you away from source. So actually, the process of death gets you closer to source. The process of the ego death gets you closer to the source. If I can actually say that, which is actually, I don't know what the fuck I did. Forgive me. But yeah, I feel like I've been talking forever. Actually, did not smoke how I want to, because I feel like I've been rambling this entire time. You know what's funny? If I can go into patience, I've been getting messages for that for a while too. And it's funny because, oh my God, I feel like I've been dealing with patience for forever. Thank you. I'm glad that all my rambling is actually helping somebody. I'm glad it's working because, like I said, this is my very first time doing this on TikTok. I don't know what I'm doing at all, but I felt like, okay, I didn't want to get dolled up. I didn't want to, record this fucking video for somebody. I just wanted to talk, and that's how I need it. So I'm glad. I am on YouTube. I have to get better with YouTube. If by chance, and I have no idea what's going to happen after this, I told you I am literally brand new. If by chance I'm able to save this, maybe I'll post it on YouTube. But I am on YouTube, and I have a couple videos that I've done already that I need to put up there too. Same name, Kashaya Vici, and you know what? God makes no mistakes. God makes no mistakes, because I didn't realize people wanted to hear me talk. For real. I literally did this thinking that nobody was going to get in here because nobody cares. And I was thinking, well, at least I'll have been obedient. But by being obedient, I realized that maybe I need to put more videos out there. Maybe I need to get things going. I felt like I've always been like, I'm critical of myself. Like, who the fuck wants to hear me talking? Like, I know a little bit what I'm talking about, but it's always a conversation. I don't know it all. And I don't ever want to be that person who seems egotistical and just telling people what to do. But for me, it's a conversation. And I thank you for even saying, are you on YouTube? I love your teaching, because this is me just having a conversation. This is me, just all the shit that I went through. This is, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm having a conversation here, and maybe I need to do it a little bit more. All that I ever wanted to do is to talk about some of the shit that I've been through so I can help somebody else, and hopefully they don't have to go through as much as a problem that I have gone through. They didn't have as much hell. So I said I would always do that, and that's all I've ever really wanted to do. And now that I see that, even if it's a few people here, I have no idea how many people is in here. I don't know how all that works. It says, I see a number 5. I don't really know. But even if it's helping one person, maybe I need to do this more. Maybe that was the uncomfortable thing that I had to get over so I can help and get to that. I mean, everything is connected. Everything is, I don't know, everything is meaningful. Even the shit that I went through, like, again, I'm going to go back. It started off with just sleeping without the TV, and that was so hectic for me. But yet, here we are. Now I'm talking about it the next morning. I have no idea what time it is. I still have my phone in my hand. I haven't gotten with the stuff that I need to be doing for the day, but I feel like it's been beneficial. I feel like even I was helping one person. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that I stepped out on faith. I'm so thankful that I got over my own ego and my own insecurity and actually went live. I don't do live. I hear a bunch of people all the time talking about go live more. It's going to help get up your numbers and stuff like that. I wasn't necessarily worried about any numbers. I just want to make sure that I'm helping and it's not in vain. Okay, well, here goes my proof. And I thank God for it. And I thank God for being open to the messages even as I'm sharing a message. Everything is connected, everything is flowing. As there was a message and a download flowing in for me, and I flowed it back out to somebody else, please go ahead and share so it can flow and continue to flow too. That's love. Love is an energy, love is the action. That's, that's what happens. So I thank you all, because that's what's happening. Even with I still got to learn this whole Spotify thing, but apparently you can put your own little recordings on Spotify and other people can get it. And everybody's been like, please, please, please put that channel on Spotify. I still got to learn that shit, but I'm just surprised that you can do that. I'm surprised by what I'm learning here, while everybody is thankful for, I guess, what I'm sharing and what they're learning. I think it's just so deep, and it is just so incredible how God works, that as I'm learning, somebody else is learning, and then they're still teaching me. That at the same time, I am thankful for all of y'all. I'm thankful for every part of it. But yes, I'm on YouTube, Kashaya Vici. There's a few things up now, and I definitely got a couple more to put up, which I definitely will. And I'm going to get on that more. I really am, because it's needed. Not even for you, it's needed for me. It's needed so I don't, down myself anymore. I need to step out on faith. I've been in a comfortable place saying, no, I'm not going to do that. But here I go saying that I want all these things, and I'm self-sabotaging myself. So here I can actually see that you need to do this. Do it, and it's going to be your own breakthrough. That's why I did this live now. I need it for my own breakthrough. Messages are happening. Things are happening. I don't want to be in my own way. What is going to come of this when I step out on faith and when I, be obedient to what I am hearing Spirit tell me? And that's all that's happened. And I feel like I got so much out of this just from sharing with you guys. I just find that completely incredible how that works. But it works. And I guess I will be definitely doing this more, because even as I'm talking, I'm learning shit too. I may not be saying it, but I was just saying, how dare I, when I was just so headstrong about, my own practices. I don't need to step my game up. I don't need to do anything more. It was working for me all this time. I don't have to change anything else up. I'm being blessed now, but I just said to myself that I was feeling stagnant. Okay, well then here I go. Here goes the message. Here goes your breakthrough. Here goes your discomfort so you can get to that next level. Here goes the help that you said you want to do for other people. Here it all goes. I'm happy that me and my fucking rambling is actually doing something. You know what I mean? It's great. And please share with somebody else. I'm glad that the things that I learned, of course, okay, here goes something else that's really cliche, but as much as I learn, it just proves that I have so much more to learn. This is why I don't ever want to get ahead of myself, and I struggle with putting everything that I know out there. I always said that I wanted to help, but I've been kind of scared because I don't know. I want to be humble. I don't want to be, I'm not a know-it-all. You know what I'm saying? And we can go into how, there's been so much gaslighting. There's been so many people that wanted to break me down because they saw the gifts in me and they didn't want me to be great. And that really played a toll. And that's why I have to break through this now, because my gifts are needed. So I can't have these 3D things that are holding me down when people really need it for the greater and higher purpose. So as I'm doing this, I am trying to break through my own shit to get through my purpose. So I thank you guys for the few comments, because it's all needed. It's all necessary. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this just I want to be, hype on TikTok. I don't think like that. I don't. I'm thinking, oh, this might help somebody. I think I vibe with this. This is something that I learned. I want to share it with somebody else. Every once in a while, I'll do something funny, but it always has to do something about something I learned. That's just me. So I always feel like, and anybody can attest to this, I'm always hearing those lies in the back of my head, who does she think she is? She thinks she know it all. Why is she always talking? Or is she just she's not doing anything wrong, but it's just how she says it that it's messed up. Or, anything negative to discourage you from doing what you have to do. Those things still go through in my head too. I've been on this journey for years. My son is 10. I feel like motherhood just immediately brings it on for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. That's why you see so many spiritual women. They're most of the time they're already mothers, because that's a divine experience right there. I mean, I'm going somewhere else, but that's just something that I realize, and it's a real true thing. When you connect, when you are in your divine being, and you are literally you're the gatekeeper between life and death, because you're close to death when you have a kid, and then you're bringing another life into, I don't know, for whatever reason, it sparks spirituality. That happens most of the time. Not saying that you can't get it for other reasons, but I promise if you think about it, there's probably a life and death nuance behind it that got you to start. That's just what happens. Anywho. But with that being said, I've just been on this journey for a long time, and yeah, I'm still working on those things that held me back in the spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Birth is beautiful, no matter how hard it is. No matter if my epidural didn't work and I was in labor for 23 and a half hours. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I'm still working through this stuff, and you really do have to get uncomfortable to do what you need to do. That's with self-love. That's with everybody who wants to put in these boundaries in life, because you just cannot take the shit that you've been dealing with in life anymore. Like, I am tired of running to the same guy and the same partner, and they say they're going to be different and everything like that, and I make sure to dot my I's and cross my T's, and I still end up with some fuck shit. What do I have to do? You have to get uncomfortable. You got to learn something. You got to change up. You got to do something. You cannot be afraid of what you're going to lose, because you are already dissatisfied with what you have. So why are you clinging on to what you are going to lose when you are already making it apparent that you need more? Be okay to let it go. It is completely scary. You will literally shake while you are saying your truth sometimes. You are going to feel bad. Not only will you become the villain, they're going to make you the villain, baby. You're going to be a whole villain. You are going to be horrible. You'll be like, I have never done anything to these people. I've been trying to be their friend all this time, or whatever. It's just going to happen. But you will be a whole villain for finally loving yourself. You ain't supposed to love yourself out here. They make it so you're not supposed to. You're not. You were never supposed to, because you are not easily controlled when you actually understand who you are and the magic that you have and the power that you have. Okay? As soon as you try to take yourself back, that's when you're going to become problematic. The whole crab in the barrel, why can't I talk? The whole crabs in a barrel situation was done on purpose. Our people are like that on purpose. It's conditioning. That's why they be like, she's trying to change. She's actually thinking about herself now. She's actually trying to be empowered. Who the fuck she thinks she is? Yeah. That's why I've never been more respected and more hated in my entire life, all at the same time. There was times where I can keep my professional, I'm from corporate world. I can keep my professional tone. I can get to the point where you're not sure what ethnicity you're talking to on the phone. I have all the words. I literally technically have a genius IQ. Like, I was in Excel classes my entire life. But I can be all that, and they will still just see a short little black woman. And then when she has the nerve to be like, excuse me, don't talk to me that way, or get my name right. I don't care how many times I correct you. Do you know how many times people had a problem with me because I continue to correct them on the pronunciation of my name? Do you know how many times I've been rude, disrespectful, not trying to work with somebody, or trying to be problematic simply because I kept saying, it's Kashaya. If it's hard to say, Miss Lester works just fine. Do you know how many times that? If I said, excuse me, don't talk to me that way, or I'm sorry, I don't think that's funny. Please don't say that, or you may not be aware, but that's a microaggression. It can make somebody feel some type of way. I don't want to be problematic at all, but I just want to bring it to the forefront. A lot of people don't, mean anything negative by it. I know my name can be a little bit, unique, but if you don't mind, it's fine. Depending on the situation that we're in, if it's professional, Miss Lester works just fine. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna. It's not. You can't continue to say Kashia, or Cash, or just completely skip over it. No, I am a person. Honor me. And that starts with my first name. You mean to tell me that me asking you to get my name right is offending you. There will never be a time where your own personal boundaries and what you do to honor yourself is going to disrespect somebody else. Catch that. There will never be a time where the boundaries you set to honor yourself is going to disrespect somebody else. And I'm saying that twice because I promise you the world will say and throw everything at you so you feel like you were wrong. That's exactly why people never get out of their funk. They never actually grow and heal. They end up staying with the same people around. Their family be toxic as fuck, but they are literally sitting there dealing with it all, and they never grow and elevate because they've been pressured and gaslighted to the point where that's your family. I don't care what they have going on. I don't care what they did to you. I don't care if you went through molestation when you were a child. I don't care if they disrespect you. I don't care if you went through abuse. I don't care if they were alcoholics around you. I don't care if they stole from you because they were on drugs. That's your family. Do you hear that shit? That is so toxic. But those are the things that they say to get you to come out of your boundaries so you never heal. So you never end up having that self-care and that self-love and realizing who you are, how magical you are, and how much of a presence, how much of a purpose that you have, and how big you're supposed to be. There are a lot of people, a lot of you. I can say for myself I'm unique, I'm a different person. But I know I am not the only person who feels it when you don't fit in a crowd. Because I don't talk, my audience, whoever I come across, they are not the sheep. I don't fool with sheep like that. So I know if you're sitting here talking to me, if you've been sitting here for a long time listening to me, then I know that you are special. You have always felt it. You feel like you didn't have the validation, or maybe you even felt the fact that I feel so special, maybe that means that I'm not special, because everybody has to be feeling like that. Wrong. Pause. You've been feeling it. It's been replaying in your head year after year. Maybe it goes away from me for a year and it comes back later, or you're starting to trickle on and be like, you know what, maybe this is what I was always feeling. You were always special. You were always special. You were always unique. You were always this person who was supposed to be different and stand out. And I promise you, the world has been doing its job to cripple you and bury you and pummel you to the point where you're just fine. Like, I just want to be left alone to the point where I'm going to do what I have to do. That is this entire world. This matrix is sick as hell. But the 1% will always need you to be the sheep or the robotic person that is detached from their own spirit, so you can continue to make money for them and do what they need to do so they can actually be those people. They know that ain't nobody supposed to be working 9 to 5 and miserable. They know that they ain't supposed to be living paycheck to paycheck and making ends meet. They know that your life is not supposed to be 95% work. They know that. But they need you to not know that so they can continue to have the life that they need. Fuck them. Fuck them. And I'm all loving life. I keep my peace. I don't remember the last time that I can be really, really mad and stuff like that. I used to be a person who will black the fuck out. I have my peace. But with my peace, I know that I'm balanced. That means that I am hood and to-do. You know, like I'm saying, I am all parts. I'm good with my demons. Not only did I address them and I attacked them, but then I integrated them. Okay, so yeah, I cuss. Yeah, my throat chakra is not blocked at all, baby. I will say whatever I need to say, and might hesitate sometimes, but I know I need to do it for myself. Yes, I've changed up a little bit on how I actually bring it because the approach means something, but also I am not all love and light and fairy and rose and stuff like that. Sometimes it's dark. Sometimes it's real raw and ugly and honest. And I'm going to piss people off because this entire world does nothing but make sure to keep you under a guise. And let me bring that back. I don't mind getting wrapped up in some of the stuff that, you know, we talk about in the world, like Meghan Markle, for example, and stuff like that. But when something ends up blowing up that much, you always have to be mindful of what they are hiding behind that. There's always something. It's called TV programming for a reason. There is this documentary that was on YouTube that is so buried that they keep deleting it, and you got to find it under like a hidden thing. It's called Out of Shadows. Out of Shadows will expose fucking everything. it exposes everything. It exposes the pedophilia. It exposes the sick shit that they doing. It exposes how the news, like there was a point in time where the masses were holding people down, like, nah, you can't say this shit. Is this what you're saying? Is this the truth? Make sure you got the truth. And they got to the point where, like, fuck, we can't do nothing about journalism. We can't do nothing about the news people. They keep talking about some real shit. What are we going to do? Because we can't keep getting exposed. We need y'all to shut the fuck up while we doing what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we have TV programming. That's how you can turn to 6 different channels in whatever region of the world, and all the news is literally saying things like, and if you can get your hands on Out of Shadows, and so you can find it on YouTube, you will literally see how they have clips of all the news sections or news area literally saying word for word the same thing. They're reporting the same thing word for word. That ain't journalism. That is programming. They done told them what they were supposed to say, how they're supposed to say it, how many different cycles of killings that you see, because it's all psychological. Why the only critically acclaimed black films are the ones where they're slaves or they're in the hood and it's a whole struggle movie or it's struggle love. All that shit is programming. So while they're talking about Meghan Markle and all that stuff, yeah, we can talk about this little stuff, but mind you, it's little shit because they still trying to cover up something big. We can, don't stump me. You can always have your mind on multiple things. You can multitask, so we can talk about that shit too. But just be aware and know that something else is still being covered up, or you're being preyed upon somehow, some way, on purpose, for something, because they are always controlling you. If by chance, and I'm sure my FBI agent, everybody when you start talking about some real shit, you always got an agent that's, assigned to you somehow, some way. So I'm probably sure somebody's sitting there like, she's starting to talk too much. We're going to have to pay attention to her a little bit more. I know that sounds crazy, but once you continue going on your spiritual journey, you can be like, oh yeah, when's the last time a glitch happened from your FBI agent? The other day happened, something was real funny, and da-da-da. Yeah, that's how we talk. That's how we talk. There's actually something that Erykah Badu says, and I can never get it right, but she's like, there's different percentages. There is, the masses, because they all need to be consumed and they all need to be the sheep or whatever. And then there's a group of people who know the truth and they talk and things of that nature, and they expose too much, and they're the ones who get killed by that 1%. And then there's another group, who just kind of give the information under the guise of creativity and art and, hiding the truth in books and stuff like that. Now, what my plan has always been is to do the artistic stuff. That's why y'all end up getting the chance and things of that nature. And, I'll do some funny videos and stuff like that. By the way, if you haven't hit me up on Instagram, that's where most of my posts and stuff go. So if you do like what I'm talking about, you're going to fucking love that page. Shameless plug, but I'm being honest though. But with that being said, what I learned, which is absolutely true, I don't necessarily want to be... what is the guy? Oh my gosh, I just saw that movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. Fred Hampton, sorry. I don't necessarily want to be him. I'm not trying to be Malcolm X. They get hunted, they get followed. They always, when you mind your business, but you're just trying to help your people, they come out of nowhere. The government is there somewhere. And how the hell do you think they just pop up out of nowhere? You get what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be that. But I don't mind being the artist, because the truth is in the art. Not to go down this rabbit hole, but I honestly believe that, art, that's how I express God. You get what I'm saying? I honestly believe that was always the truth, and that was always supposed to be the bulk and the majority of life, because you know how you feel when you are singing, when you are dancing, and when you are actually doing something artistic. It's a whole nother thing. There's also an intelligence part too. There's a reason why they're taking out the specials and the arts and the music and stuff like that in inner cities, in the public schools. But the richer kids always make sure that they know they either sing or they have some type of at least one instrument behind them, because that's a whole new level of intelligence that gets opened up, and it just opens up another part of your mind. And that's where you really get a chance to learn the world's truth. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Always keep your eyes open. Always keep your mind open. And just, when you're on this journey, just
you got to be aware. Mindfulness is not something that happens real quick depending on what your circumstance is. You need to wake up with mindfulness. You need to be walking in mindfulness. And it's not like it's an exhausting thing that you always have to think of 24/7. It's just the fact that you can be aware and see every message in front of you, because everything is right in front of you. It's just a matter of they got you so conditioned, or they got you behind the veil so thick that you can't see it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to make a hell of a difference. It's crazy when the colors of life get a little bit brighter and you just feel like you're seeing things from a totally different perspective when you wake up. I'm sorry, I feel like I've rambled. I'm going so far. Hold on. You started talking about the TV being a companion distraction from self, guys. Yeah. What's funny is, there's going to be different levels. Okay, so there was different levels. So let me throw something out there as an example. When I was focused on my boyfriend, I just wanted peace for myself, but I was making it all about him. Well, what I didn't realize is you have your own mission and your own calling as yourself, as the person you came here by yourself in this world. It don't got nothing to do with anybody else. But sorry guys, because I don't be paying attention to this shit. Just be all up on it. But that was a distraction, and we get to the point where, and it's pushed in the world. Everything is about love. Every good movie is about love. Everything is about romantic love. Make sure you have a companion in life. Something's wrong with you if you don't have a companion in life, and blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying that romantic love is a problem, but that is a small thing in life. And they make it so you focus on it. So it's a distraction. So you just, so you're distracted from your purpose and from the messages that really needs to be. Even food. You get comfortable with the food. There's times where you subconsciously sit down with a snack. For me, it's just sitting down and mindlessly eating Honey Nut Cheerios out of the box. And it's little stuff like that. When I started to be mindful and I started fasting, oh my gosh, I'll wait for another day to talk about fasting and how powerful that shit is. But even food can be a distraction from messages and from your spirit guides and things of that nature. And I had my levels. So I had my family, I had my social life, and it happened to be my sorority in college and all of that. And then it became about my boyfriend, and then it became about work. And you strip all those things left and right, or they get snatched from you because you was never supposed to be that focused on it in the first place. I'm sure you noticed that too. If you don't let something go when you're supposed to, it will get snatched, and it is going to get hurt, and it's going to hurt when it gets snatched from your hand. Because you ain't supposed to be doing that thing. You can only avoid what you're supposed to do, but for so long. That's just how life works. If God is on your side, he will intervene for you. And you're not going to fucking like how he intervenes, or he or she. It's interchangeable. But you're not going to like how they intervene if they got to do it for you. That's why you need to start stepping in and honoring yourself. Because I know I got tired of getting my face handed to me. I got tired of getting my face handed to me in life for everything. Before I realized, and my distraction was food, and I got too big. I had to do that, reel that back. Before I paid attention to what I needed to do with boys, boys. It was bad relationship after bad relationship after bad relationship. And then you even get to a point, and this is where I had to check myself and my ego. I got to a point where I can realize all those distractions. I can give up the friends. I can give up the guy. I can give up those toxic things like, drinking or hanging out, stuff like that. I gave up those things. Those are the things that are simple. Those are the things that, anybody else can kind of like figure out for themselves too. But what happens when you don't realize that something so small as the TV staying on at night is your distraction? What about that? You know what? The only way I was able to see that is because I continued to work on myself, and I didn't give up on myself. And if I said I'm going for something, I'm going for something. And I stayed open to the messages. So I finally got it when my TV was messing up all this time and I couldn't do what I want to. That's because I wasn't supposed to be doing it. I wasn't supposed to be, focused on the TV or having the TV interfere with that channel. It was fine all before because God had, I got to take away the other distractions. I know this is one too, but we got other things to handle. So this is fine. This is something we ain't worried about right now until it was time. You get what I'm saying? I'm starting to handle all those other things that I was supposed to handle. So now I need to get rid of that other last distraction. And I'm not saying it's the last distraction, but it's just another part on the level. I am indeed leveling up, and this why that distraction was even able to be revealed to me, because it was time. It wasn't time all before. Like I said, I've been sleeping with the TV on for 32 fucking years. You get what I'm saying? I said that my mom does it too. Good afternoon, darling. It's the fucking afternoon. I have been talking all day. I gotta go. I'll be going soon, okay? Because it should not be the afternoon. I started in the morning. Yikes. Good afternoon, beloved. I thank you for joining us. But yeah, when it is time, at that level, when you reach that level, whatever distraction is there for that time. And you know what's funny? I'm just not to interrupt myself, but yeah, the screens can be a distraction. I said that before. It's funny. It's a video that I never put out because I just didn't want to upset people. And it says something like, these screens are fucking us up. But don't nobody want to talk about that because it's such a comfort of ours now. I might need to put that out a little later or need to redo it or something like that after this too. Because I do see the irony in the fact that I'm talking about a screen being an interrupter at night. And then I've been on the screen all day. So I am going to give myself a break in just a moment. But that's, again, just another nod to how you have to be mindful and open to every single message at all times. But yeah, I didn't even realize that the distraction was happening. I had become mindful enough to realize when my flow was a little bit interrupted or I did not feel as connected to spirit. And the only way I was able to be mindful of that is because I did the work to the point where I got there to where I know what it feels like to be that connected to spirit, which means I know what it feels like to not be connected as much as I am too. And please keep going, because that's the same type of connection that we are mindful about with relationships. Okay, you know how you be like, oh, I don't feel as close to this person anymore, and you start to get anxious, and you be like, what can I do to fix that, or what can I do, and you start to do whatever you can in order to fix that. You can be mindful of when your connection is deteriorating or getting closer or separated from another person. You need to be just as mindful of that when it comes to spirit and your spirit guides as well. And if you're not there yet, of course, it's not going to happen overnight, but continue to be disciplined, diligent, and have dignity about you, and it will come. But yeah, my TV was an interrupter, and I didn't realize. I'm not saying I don't watch TV no more, period. I mean, I might get to a point in life where I don't. I'm not there yet. I'm still being worked on. Calm the fuck down. But I needed to do what I needed to do for these messages to come in later. Like, God will change things now so you can get what you need to for that pivotal moment. If you don't change your situation now, that it's not going to change all of a sudden for you to be in that place for you to hear. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you like a realistic thing. If you hadn't started looking up spirituality, which took you to happen to go to this event of spirituality, and this one person that was talking gave you this message that literally changed your life, and from that moment on you become a billionaire, you didn't even realize that God was setting you up for more than just that one day, for you to make it to that point to get what you need for the rest of your life. So when I remember that, and when I think about all that, hell yeah, I can turn off my fucking TV at night. Hell yeah, I can endure some nights that are just going to be completely unbearable until this becomes a regular habit for me. It might take a whole month. They say a habit takes 21 days. I might be in for a very rough 21 days. I might get to the point where, I'm so sleep deprived that my messages are cloudy for a little bit and I'm not going to like it. And in that moment in time, it might feel like, I'm going backwards now. What the fuck? Let me just do what I need to do so I can get to that little bit. That's the same shit we do with everything, especially relationships, especially with your job. You be like, I'm not liking this. I'm not satisfied. And then one day later, you get to a point where I'm starting to fear for my job. Let me just do what I need to do in order to hold on to this. Yeah, I wasn't I wasn't happy with the job at all, but now that I'm feeling like I'm being compromised from losing it, I'm going to go into panic mode. Now the ego steps in. Now let me do what I have to do in order for me to hold on to this little bit. But what you didn't realize was, as you were starting to complain, you were already starting to move the doors for things to change for you. And that point where you started to feel like, I'm starting to be compromised, that was just your spirit, your body, your energy starting to step into that metamorphosis stage. That's what was really happening. And just because it was uncomfortable for you, and because the way the world works, it told you that it was wrong, and you end up going backwards. Same thing with the relationships. You be like, this nigga always doing something, I don't like that, he gets on my nerve, and you always telling him off, and then after a while he stops texting, or you realize that his attention is elsewhere, and then you be like, I know I wasn't happy before, but now I'm not getting what I was getting before, and now I'm in danger of losing the little bit that I have, when meanwhile you were supposed to lose the little bit that you have. You can lose a little bit of discomfort, of comfort, excuse me. You can lose some comfort. You can lose a few nights of sleep. You can lose, that job that you didn't like in the first place. Okay, I was not happy with the fact that my messages weren't coming in the way that I always do that they can come in. Okay, but I got nervous, and I started to try to control things because my comfort was messed with. Fuck comfort. Comfort ruins practically everything. Comfort keeps you stunted. Comfort keeps you from establishing those boundaries. Comfort keeps you from that life that you wanted to build for yourself. You said, I'm going to be a better person. I want people around me to look like a king, to look at me as a king or a queen. I want to be dignified. I don't want to deal with the same bullshit anymore. I don't want to be in the same atmospheres no more. Well, as soon as your comfort got messed up, then you started to try to control things just so you can have that little bit that you already said you were tired of. That is a very bad cycle that we do with everything in our life. Same thing with food. Let me give you an example. You get tired. Say, for example, we've been in the house all this time, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just tired of all these foods. I'm just kind of sick of food. I need something new. I need something different. And the very moment that you go to the store and you're trying to buy what you usually buy for your house, and you don't see it anymore, and you don't see it for the next couple of times that you go to the store, and you're like, okay, what the fuck is going on? And then you might even go online and be like, let me make sure I can get this thing in my house. I'm so used to it in my house. Let me pay a little bit more extra money. Let me put myself in other stressful situations just so I can hold on to the little that I have that I was already irritated with. We do it all the time. Stop self-sabotaging. Stop getting in your own way. Let go of that thing. Let go of that person. Let go of that place. Let go of that small thing. Do not be worried about losing the small part when you already were tired of it being so small. It's going to be scary, but go ahead and go after it, because unless you like the cycle, unless you like insanity, which is doing the same thing, expecting different results, have at it. Have at it. I can give up a scream. I can give up being a little bit scared and embarrassed on social media so I can help somebody else. I can give up being lazy and actually put a routine together and actually be more active and attentive on social media, even though this is not my thing. I can do more of my makeup and actually put the presentation together so it looks as professional as everybody else, and really have these endorsements coming in, and really have this money coming in, and really doing the work that I need to do to get where I want to be. It is not going to happen with me staying comfortable. It's not. I hate doing makeup. I hate it. I even have a video that I did not edit yet. It's a little bit joke thing. It's like, I hate makeup. I hate lashes. I hate eyebrows. I hate making sure my hair is good. I hate that my edges are like black and blonde at the same time, where I kind of think it's cool, but I don't like how it actually shows up on TV, like on the screen and stuff like that. I can do it. I can get out of my comfort zone. I can get up off my ass and make sure that these manifestations happen, and make sure that the life that I want comes in. Get uncomfortable. Fuck the TV. Fuck that boyfriend. He already wasn't enough. Fuck that job. It wasn't enough in the first place. Fuck it. Fuck that family member. They weren't enough. The only thing that made them family was the fact that we have the same goddamn last name. You know what I'm saying? Let go of those things. Let go. Let go. I feel like I have been talking all day. I have a whole blunt. And can I tell you something else? If I talked to myself from 5 years ago, and told her that you will be in a situation where you have more money coming in that you ever thought, that you would, even in the midst of a pandemic, God is good. You will be able to be on a screen lighting my blunt. I actually lit it earlier and then I started talking immediately, and of course it went out and it's just been sitting in my hand all this time. So no, I'm really just getting to it. I'm sorry. It was just important for me to take that moment because that's exactly what I was getting to. If I would have told myself even 2 years ago that I would have the freedom I do to light my blunt and smoke it and let other people see it, even if it's only a few people. If I told myself 2 years ago that I would be in the position to even do that. It's very small, but it is such a thing to notice. That's huge. I am not bound by the things that had me bound before because I actually got out of my comfort zone and did something different. And what has surprised me this entire time, everything I've been scared of. I said it earlier if you weren't with me. I've been scared to actually be out there and actually talk and actually share everything because I just don't want to be like a know-it-all or be egotistical or do this the wrong way. That's just me. But as I continue to just fuck how I mess up and just do what I want. Everything that I've been scared of has been benefiting me. It has been giving me good results. Me being more free with my mouth, cussing a little bit more, for everybody to hear and see. That's little stuff, and I'm sure it don't matter to anybody else. But when I was so bound, feeling like, I was restricted and I couldn't do what other people did, and I was starting to, be jealous of those other people because they had a freedom and they had an understanding that I just simply did not, or I was just too scared to step out on myself. So I was projecting onto somebody else because they were able to do what I couldn't do. Hi, hello. How many times do we know people doing that? But when I am realizing that I did what I needed to do, even if it's small, because I'm definitely still going. But even up until this point, I did what I needed to do to the point where I don't have to be scared of what may come just because I'm smoking. On screen, on live, and it ain't a cigarette. It can't nobody tell me anything. I'm not in the wrong. I'm not going to get in trouble. It's not illegal at all, and I don't have to worry about my job trying to get rid of me or anything for it. If I told myself, I know I said 5 years ago, but even 2 years ago, if I knew I was going to be able to be here, and I am so much more closer to what I want to be doing in life instead of what I'm forced to do in life, I'm so much closer. That's why I'm like, just do what you got to do. Even in this, I know you got to go because I got to go too because I still got some work to do too. I'm thankful that, thank you for, coming back. I'll be live again. So I appreciate you all. But, because I do have to go and I have to go to the bathroom too. But yeah, when I can take perspective in this moment that I'm even able to smoke on screen, and it's small. It is small potatoes, but this is still something that I didn't see that I was able to do 2 years ago because I was so bound by so much other shit. But I know I stepped out, on faith and did what I needed to do to get to this point. I'm still going, but I still did what I needed to do to get to this point. Okay. So when I think about that and I remember what I needed to do and I remember what I did do in order to get here and how I was uncomfortable all before and scared out of my mind and told that I was wrong a million times and just, bound because we all feel so bound. But the fact that I'm even comfortable with no makeup on, with my glasses, I'm usually always getting dolled up to do something with a blunt in my hand on my own balcony, not giving a fuck, then yeah, I can keep going. And I know it was tough. I remember how tough it was. I got through it. I got here. I say this all the time to like my clients and stuff because like I said, I am a life coach. I say this to my clients all the time. You can do it when you look at your scoreboard. Remember your scoreboard. Even if I got so far to go, I'm nowhere near to where I really want to go. But look at your own scoreboard. You made it here. That shit that you thought was going to get to you is not getting to you. You are making it. You're making it. You're doing what you need to do. Think of your scoreboard, and then you can keep going. Yes, you know what I'm saying? So when I thought about all that, even with, I'm going to go back to why I started the live in the first place. When I remember those things, when I remember this, and even tonight, later, when I think of this moment and I think that I am here, I am somebody who can, smoke on live and I can and curse or whatever. Yeah, I can give up that other shit because I've given up worse. I've given up bigger things. I've given up other comforts just so I can have this. Yeah, I can do what the fuck I need to do for later. I can keep going. I did the work and can't nobody take it from me. Can't nobody take my self-love. I know that the work I did made this moment possible to help somebody else. I can do it. I can keep going. I can be uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable. Do what you need to do. Do the discipline. Do the due diligence. Have the dignity. This braid is telling me my time is up. And my lighter just flew. But this is it. This stuff is telling me that I can keep going and I want to keep going. You know what I'm saying? This braid is telling me my time is up. Hopefully y'all got something. Hopefully it wasn't just a bunch of rambling. Hopefully, it's going to motivate y'all. I wasn't necessarily starting to, I wasn't talking to motivate, but I'm thankful. I'm glad. I hope y'all have a great day. I am so honored by y'all. It's only a few of y'all, but I'm so honored and touched. Just from y'all sitting here, y'all changed everything. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm going to definitely do it again. Have a wonderful day and wonderful afternoon. I'm going to go to the rest of them and I'm going to enjoy this blunt. And this blunt is actually going to be more enjoyable than it was going to be in the first place because I hope I fed somebody and y'all definitely, even with your energy in the screen, y'all fed me. And nothing is in vain. None of this. This is just confirming that my last 24 hours it wasn't in vain. So I hope this was motivating. I hope, this just was the weirdest perspective to keep y'all going. That's what I really hope. I hope this was just the weirdest thing that gets y'all to keep going. All right. I love y'all. I really am going to turn this off now because I'm sure I can keep talking, but no need. There's other days. Bye-bye.